Hello, everybody. This is something different, and we're going to be doing. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should introduce who's here. Introduce himself.
I'm Satan,
No.
formerly known as QHJ, but I am Satan. Now give me your cookies!
Want your cookies?
Or maybe I should say rings because of what we're going to be talking about today, right?
Yes, are doing a Sonic the Hedgehog retrospective,
This is where we discuss our love for Sonic the Hedgehog.
or
Love in
hate for some
quotes.
games. Whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to be going through not all of the games because there are a lot of spin-offs which I really haven't played, and there's like
Re-
arcade games and whatnot that I haven't really played.
yeah.
But for the most part, we're going to be going all over the main series and a few spin-offs. So, yeah.
So tell us, how are we going to do this in terms of the games? Like, are we going to say, like, how do we find out about the game? When we first played it, our first initial impressions, etc.?
Yeah, we can do that and then tell them also how we think of it now compared to how we used to think of it, because obviously first impressions differ over the years, maybe.
Yeah, generally your first impressions are different than how you feel now.
Yeah,
That's true for many of my games. I thought they were really good back then, and then you realize, yeah.
that's true for me with those six, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, so we're going to start off with obviously the original Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Genesis, or Master System, wherever you were.
Yeah, because, Europeans are so special, right?
So special. Alright, Q,
So,
do you want to start this off?
sure. Now, I didn't play the original Sonic the Hedgehog, nor all the classic games actually on the Genesis. Though I do have Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on Genesis now, since I found one later on. But I started off with Sonic Mega Collection. That's
Yeah, that
how
same
I
here.
got the classics. I actually started off playing Sonic 2, but then I played on Sonic 1. So I know more about Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles than I do Sonic 1,
As do I.
but I still love Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the original, and it showed how good it was at the time. When I first, I don't remember when I first played it though. I can't remember my first time playing through it, but I think I got up to like Loudness Zone, and then I just kind of game overed and I quit. Because I had played Sonic 2 after that, or before that, and I wanted to try to go through Sonic 1 without game overing. Yeah, that didn't end up well.
It's possible.
I mean, I know it's possible, but I never really got through it.
I mean, you could have done the stage select
I wanted to play through it legitly.
code. Well, that's good. Um, I like Sonic 1. Definitely not my favorite of the two Sonics. It's one of my least, if I'm completely honest.
It's a
And
tough one for me. I mean, I like all the classic games, but if I really had to choose, it'd probably be Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Knuckles, and then Sonic 1. Just because I don't know, there's not really any choice why I would choose that order, but I know Sonic 2 is my favorite of the classics.
I think
It's
Sonic
just,
1 is also not really balanced as well because you go from like Green Hill and then you have Marble Zone, which is like kind of slow.
yeah, you go from a level that you can just speed through in less than 30 seconds, and then you have
Hmm.
one that takes you minutes to do, even when you're going through it as fast as you can. It's
Hmm.
just kind of imbalanced, and you don't have that sense of speed that the game really wants you to have. Because, blast processing.
Blast processing. Yeah, okay. Take that as you will.
I mean, there's only two real speed levels in the game that I can think of, and that's Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone. Otherwise, it's a mix between pure platforming and somewhat fast, but not really fast.
Well, Spring Yard Zone can be slightly as fast.
Yeah, but that's not really like, can't really blaze through the level.
True. I do like the music in Spring Yard Zone.
Yeah, though I prefer Starlight Zone personally.
Yeah, and obviously Green Hill music is
It's
Green Hill.
iconic. It's like the
Yeah,
overworld theme in Super Mario Bros. I mean, if you
yeah,
don't know what it is, then you're kind of, I don't know, you're lame.
you're living under a rock or something.
Yeah, you're pretty much living under a rock if you don't know what the theme is.
Yeah, Sonic 1, not my favorite, but still a good game.
It's a good game. If I had to give it a rank, I'd probably give it a 8 out of 10. I don't know, it's just a random scoring.
I would go
Not like
maybe
those.
7.
I mean, those don't really matter because you should probably play the game yourself, but
Well,
still.
yeah. So, also with Sonic 1 is there was a Game Gear Sonic the Hedgehog 1, which is totally different, I believe. I don't think I've played this one. Have you?
I played it. I played through it on my channel before I started doing Let's Plays,
Okay.
and I can't remember much from it though. I think the first level, a lot of people get messed up at the boss because it's like this antlion thing, and it's on a slope.
Mm-hmm.
And most people who played Sonic 1 on the Game Gear never got past that. It's either that or Sonic 2 Game Gear, but either way, it was a really. No, wait,
Yeah.
that was Sonic 2 Game Gear.
The only thing I know of this was that the music of Bridge Zone was used in Tails' theme in Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, it is probably one of the most well known 8-bit themes, Bridge Zone is.
Mm.
And I actually really do like it.
I
I
actually
think
have to go and listen to it once because I've never really given it a listen.
that is really good. I think if I could replace Bridge Zone with Marble Zone, I'd probably do that. Have Bridge Zone in 16-bit with
That would be
16-bit music, because I think it's a better second um, level.
if they would have done what I originally said with Generation 3DS, then we could have gotten that.
I know. I don't know why they went with what they did for Generation 3DS, but that's
But
not
yeah,
now.
let's save that for later. So, since is that all you have to say about the Game Gear Sonic one?
Yeah, I can't remember much about it though. I get it mixed up with Sonic 2 Game Gear levels more than anything.
Okay, then let's move on to Sonic 2 for the Genesis slash Master System
Yep, and this is my personal favorite Sonic game of all time.
of all time.
And yeah,
Okay.
because it was either my first Sonic game or very close to my first Sonic game. Because I can't exactly remember what was my first Sonic game. I think it might have been Sonic Advance though, but
Uh,
that's for another.
Sonic Advance was good, but we'll get to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Sonic 2.
I think it has the best balance of speed levels and platforming. 'Cause, I mean, most of the levels, if you do pretty good on, you can go through them at a pretty decent rate.
Most of
Versus
them except
how,
Metropolis
yeah, except for Metropolis,
and
but
the
that's
first
because
Sky Chase, but the first Sky Chase is like an auto-scrolling level. So,
yeah. Going back on Sonic One Game Gear, the Bridge Zone is Act Two is actually a scrolling level.
oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not hard, but yeah, I remember speeding through. I played Sonic Two more times than I can count. And you know what the sad thing is? I've never beaten it.
Yeah, I
I have
can't say I've
never.
beaten it either. The last boss is hard.
Yeah, the last boss always just gets me somewhere, and I just can't. By the time I get there, you have to get through Metropolis Zone, and then for me, when I first played it, Wing Fortress Zone was just ugh.
I like Wing Fortress Zone.
I mean, I didn't know about the cheat that you could use to skip like half the stage back then,
Right. Yeah,
so I
that.
had to do the whole way around.
Hmm.
And when I first played it, I didn't even know how you were supposed to get past a certain point, so I just kind of got stuck.
Hmm.
And then you have Metropolis Zone, which those
Black.
half pipes going
And
upwards, and you land on the ledge below, and then you do that again.
then you
I got
have
stuck on
the.
that.
Oh,
I
what are
got
they?
stuck on that for the longest time. I would literally time out on those parts because I could not do it.
Slicers. That's what they're called.
Yeah, and then you have the slicers and
Black.
the asterisk star thingies.
Is that what they're called?
I don't think so, but I would have to look it up.
Yeah, I will say this though, I do like Sonic 2. I the first time I played it was again on the Mega Collection, but I do not like the special stages.
No, I do not like the special stages myself.
And going back,
I
we didn't mention this, but I didn't. Sonic's one special stages are okay. They're okay.
well, I do like them. I just say about Sonic Force, and I go, yeah.
The controls for we'll get to that. Anyway, yeah.
the the
Sonic 2.
problem with the problem
What?
with Sonic 2's was perspective, and the
Yeah.
fact like you could easily miss the rings, especially when you're trying to go around the half pipe like above.
Mhm.
When they had rings up there, that was always.
I can honestly say I've never gotten all 7 in Sonic 2.
I don't even try. I mean, I know you can get all 7 Chaos Emeralds in Emerald Hill Zone, but that just
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's
The
worth it.
only
'Cause,
time I've gotten Supersonic was by doing a cheat.
yeah, that's pretty much how I went through it. Actually, beat it illegitimately. I just used the stage select and debug.
I've never done debug. I've done stage select.
The debug mode's always fun on Sonic games. They're kind of a pain to get. I think Sonic 3's is a pain to get because you have to do a certain like left, right, all that on one of
Yeah.
those thing with jiggies.
Sonic
You
1.
know.
See here.
But yeah, overall, I really do like Sonic 2. I mean, there's aspects of it that I don't like, but in terms of the level design and everything, I think it's the best.
hmm Sonic 2 is definitely good. The music is good.
hmm
Favorite music track for me would have to be Chemical Plant.
I think it might be. I don't know what would be my favorite. I mean,
I mean,
I can like if I'm just thinking right now, but the music, I can think of the Oil Ocean, Emerald Hill. Um,
with Chemical Plant, you have Aquatic Ruin, Casino Night, Hilltop, Mystic Cave, Oil Ocean, Metropolis, Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and then the Death Egg Zone.
and the Death Egg Zone, you don't really. It's not really that memorable, to be honest.
No, because I don't like that stage.
Who does?
It's hard. No, I don't know. Casino Night has good music.
Whenever I think of Casino Night, I think of the remix they used in Generations.
Yeah, that's really what I'm thinking too. The jazzy remix.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think if you think of Casino Night Zone, I think of jazz in terms
it
of how it would sound
it,
like
it,
if it wasn't 16-bit.
it fits perfectly. Also, one thing in Sonic 2 that they added that I absolutely love is the spin dash.
And one thing that they did between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, which was a really good idea, was removing the speed cap.
Right.
Because in Sonic 1, you had a speed cap, which really slowed the pace of the game down, while as in Sonic 2, you could theoretically go as fast as the game allows you.
hmm
Before it's not really, because the momentum based gameplay doesn't really allow you to go past a certain point. Because,
Right.
but yeah, you could go theoretically as fast as you want if you hack the game.
Yeah, yeah. So that's Sonic 2. But then there was also a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Game Gear. Again, I have not really had any experience with this one, so Q?
The first boss, when I was talking about Sonic 1 Game Gear, I was thinking about the Sonic 2 one, but it had that ant lion. That thing was a pain because if I recall correctly, Robotnik is shooting these like ball things down, and it hits the ant lion. But your momentum can cause you to hit the ant lion or hit one of those easily because they're bouncing at like random angles. Like one will be bouncing fast and one will be bouncing slow, and it literally just comes down to luck whether or not you just get screwed over by the boss.
One thing I've heard about this game is that the hang glider sections are hard.
I didn't have any personal problems with it. I think I had more problem with the boss than I had with the sky diving sections, those sections, because those actually really not that hard as long as you knew how to control them.
Mm-hmm.
The boss you had to fight like these birds. They hatch out these eggs, and most of the time you end up having no rings for that boss. So
No, it's Sonic 2 all over again.
you end up. I mean, they're not really hard, but one mistake and then you'll really get messed up.
Wasn't this also the game that has the ending where Tails dies?
If it did, I never got it. Like I won't like most of the Game Gear games. I know there's a special ending if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, but I most of the time never knew how to get the Chaos Emeralds for any of them, so I just got the bad ending, quote unquote bad ending.
Isn't that the
But
one where Tails dies? Or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just know some Game Gear game has an ending where Tails dies, which is very, very grim.
And then you have Green Hills, not Green Hill, but Green Hills Zone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big difference, you know. You put an S at the end, and that makes it a
Totally.
completely different zone.
Totally.
Now, I don't remember much about this zone in particular, but I do remember it being a pain when I was trying to record it, because I kept having to restart because I died
Nice.
at the boss. Because I just remember the boss being very much a pain. It was
Yeah.
just annoying more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember I can't. Actually, I'm going to look it up real quick because I have the um uploads on my channel. I'm going to look up the actual levels so I can remember them more. Let's
Okay.
see. Sonic 2 Game Gear. You had Underground Zone, Sky High Zone, Aqua Lake Zone, Green Hill Zone, Gimmick Mountain Zone, and then Scrambled Egg.
Scrambled eggs. That sounds good.
Scrambled eggs with cheese in them. Oh, yes.
Yup.
Now, Scrambled Egg Zone, it had the gimmick of you go through these pipes and they shoot you out at places, and it was kind of a trial and error. Like you would go through the wrong pipe and it would just send you back to the beginning of that section. And for some reason, I had a tough time with that. Like I would always get messed up on which pipes to go through and everything like that. But then you go against Silver Sonic at the end.
Has Silver Sonic?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Silver Sonic is the bad ending final boss.
Gotcha.
Like you fight against Eggman if you get the all 7 Chaos Emeralds, but to be honest, I don't remember how you get them in the game.
I think it's one of those you just randomly find them in the stage.
Probably, but I don't know. But yeah, Sonic 2 Game Gear is just it's a Game Gear game.
Yeah.
It's one of those Game Gear Sonics. It's either decently good or just plain horrible.
Well, speaking of Game Gear, next game on the list is also on Game Gear, but it is also on the Genesis. It is Sonic Spinball.
Oh boy, Sonic Spinball.
Hey,
Oh boy. I
some
love
call me
pinball.
Johnny like this game.
I
I
thought he
think.
didn't like the game. Like I don't think he doesn't like pinball games.
Someone who was it that liked it then? Somebody did.
I don't know, but it wasn't some call me Johnny. I know that for sure.
Okay.
Cause like it's a decent idea, he said, but he's just not a big fan of pinball games in general.
Or was it N Tom? It was somebody. I don't know. But yeah, Sonic Spinball.
I also played that on the Mega Collection because I had most
Yep.
of the classics on Mega Collection, but I do have the game on Genesis. I have the cart.
I
I
heard
don't
the
think I've
Genesis
ever
version is
played
better
it.
than Game Gear. I haven't played the Game Gear version, so I don't know.
I wouldn't know either, but I've heard it's really, really crappy. Like right now, I'm actually looking at my copy of Sonic 1, and it has the not for resale.
Nice.
There's another game that I have for Game Gear, Sonic game, but it doesn't work. But we'll be getting to that eventually.
Okay.
But yeah, Sonic Spinball. I mean, I love pinball games. I played 3D Ultra Pinball, one of those Sierra games back in the 90s
Hmm.
on my PC along with, 3D Pinball on Windows.
I'm really not good at pinball at all.
Pinball is a luck-based game,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. I mean, to
You're
be
on,
honest, I've never beaten Sonic Spinball.
I haven't either. I mean, when I watched Sonic the SGV playthrough, I knew there was a reason why I could never beat it because it's just so luck-based.
Hmm.
I mean, the farthest I got was Lava Powerhouse, and that's it.
I've
And
never
most of,
gotten that far, so
I mean, that's rare that I get past that.
I've never gotten past the first level.
I
So,
mean, I can understand that, but it just really depends on luck for me, whether or not I'm gonna do good or I'm just gonna do really bad.
hmm
Yeah, there's not really much I can say about Sonic Spinball because I never really got that far in it, but it is a fun game for what it's worth. It's just
yeah.
really, really, really hard.
And the Toxic Cave music is really good. Just pointing that out there.
I also like the boss music.
Remember the boss music. I don't even know if I got to a boss to hear the music, so
It's like doo 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 doo.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to listen to it in your head to get the
Yeah.
full melody. But it's actually really good. You should look it up. I think there's some good remixes on, like meta
I will
remixes.
have to do that. But as far as boss music is, the next game has slightly creepy boss music, depending on which version you're playing anyway. That game is Sonic CD.
Ah, Sonic CD.
Yeah. It's my first Sonic game of all time, actually.
I have a strange history with Sonic CD. I mean, I never played it because I didn't have like Mega Collection Plus,
Hmm.
so I never really played it
It
on
wasn't
Mega
on Mega
Collection.
Collection Plus. It was on Gems Collection.
Oh, Gems Collection. Where I didn't have Gems Collection, so I didn't really get a chance to play it. The first time I ever played it, I emulated it, and I just didn't like it. I won't lie, I didn't really like it. I just felt it was weird because like you would see random rings and random locations that didn't make any
Yeah.
sense because you could never get to them.
Yeah,
And
that's where the
when I
whole
first
time
played,
travel thing comes into aspect.
I mean, I understood that, but it still didn't really make any sense to me when I first played it.
Mm.
I mean, I understood the time travel concept and all that, but I just didn't really like it at first. I didn't like the level design. It just felt so short. It didn't really feel
Now, one
Sonic-esque.
thing I will say, the new version that just came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, the one with the what was it, Christian Whitehead or whatever, but he like tweaked the physics and stuff, and it's actually so much better than the original version.
Now I played that, and this is why I said I have a strange history with it because I played it. I got it on Steam for like $4, and
Hmm.
my opinion went from I didn't like the level design and everything like that to actually I really really liked the game.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of the reason that is because of the frame rate. They upped the
Right.
frame rate especially for the special stages. Because
Hmm.
in the original the frame rate was 30 frames per second, so it felt more choppy and it didn't feel really smooth. As in for the newer version it's 60 frames, which feels a lot smoother, and you can tell in the gameplay that it's a lot easier.
Right.
It's still a pain if you mess up and you lose a
Sonic
lot of time.
Sonic CD was also the first Sonic game to feature cutscenes, even though it was only at the beginning and end of the game, but still.
I never actually beat Sonic CD. I've gotten to the final
The final
zone.
boss is insanely easy.
I just keep dying getting to the final boss.
Okay, yeah, I could understand that.
I've
Um,
actually gotten to the final boss, but I didn't understand how you're supposed to beat it.
I mean, it's they used the Sonic 1 sprites, but they gave it a lot more. like animations.
Yeah.
They had the figure eight, and they're
My
pretty much yeah.
but my biggest issue with the game is the bosses themselves. They're easy for
I
the
know
most
they give
part.
you an invincibility right for the first boss,
Yeah.
which is already easy enough as it is.
And then like the what was the one boss where you just had to jump up and hit the you pretty much have to go up vertically and then you beat them like really easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Music wise, it's a big
I
debate in the Sonic universe whether which music, the Japanese or the US soundtrack. I like songs in both, so
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. It's like it just depends on the level itself, whether or not I like the US version or the Japanese
mhm.
version. And I wish for the 2011 version that we would have gotten an option to have both the Japanese and US.
You
But
do.
you do? I thought that wasn't allowed due to copyright reasons,
No, the
ironically
only
enough.
thing that wasn't allowed was the lyrics in the Japanese version theme song.
Huh.
But you can switch between US and Japanese soundtracks.
I'll have to check that because I don't remember having seen that option. Unless
I,
I did, I just don't remember. But
I'm pretty
another
sure it
thing,
is because I can do it on my 360 version.
I'll have to check Steam sometime.
Yeah.
One thing I do like is they added Tails. I mean, it doesn't make any sense
No, it doesn't
logically,
make any sense, but
but it's still fun to have that option.
yeah, that's one thing we didn't mention about Sonic 2. Sonic 2 introduced us to a new character, Tails, Miles Tails Prower. He can fly with his tails. Don't know how, but he can.
Actually, that doesn't Sonic 2 doesn't do that.
Well, he does when you don't play as him. You can see him
Yeah,
fly if he's
yeah, but when you
following you.
actually play as them,
No, but
you
he can.
don't get that.
That's the point is he can still fly with his tails, which is weird, but it
Fair enough.
works. And Sonic CD introduced us to two new characters, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic.
I like Metal Sonic.
I do too. He's not my favorite robot. We'll get to my favorite robot later, but he's my second favorite robot.
Now, as for Amy Rose, I don't like her modern incarnation as much,
And
but I do like
I
her.
like her modern incarnation better than her old, but that's
But
just
but I like the old one because she's not annoying. Ugh.
well. We don't know if she's not annoying because we never heard her talk.
So that's the point. She doesn't talk. That's the whole reason why she's annoying because she talks in the modern. She's annoying, and I want to grab her and squeeze her until she goes limp in my arms.
Wow, that's wow, wow.
I could have gone
Anyway,
worse. I could have gone worse and say squeeze her until her eyes bug out and then they explode and you see blood running down her eyes. But yeah,
that's gross. Anyway, also one more
over.
thing I want to mention about Sonic CD is the special stages. I like the special stages.
I I'm okay with them. I mean, I like the concept of them, but it feels like you're just so skittish. Like you can
Hmm.
easily overjump things, and that's one of my main issues. Is if you like overshoot a jump because the perspective on it is rather weird. I don't think it's the perspective. I think there's no drop shadows on the UFOs that I know of,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
makes it hard for you to judge whether or not you're gonna jump into it or you're just gonna overjump it.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll like jump over it and then you have to spend like 10 seconds turning yourself around, which is easier said than
Well,
done.
again, in the newer version, they fixed some of the physics and controls and whatnot in these special stages. So,
Well, it's still a bit annoying, but I mean,
yeah, they also fixed some um, collision detection with the UFOs in the new version.
I've gotten like two or three of the time stones, but I never got all of them.
Yeah, I've never gotten them all either, mostly because I beat the game by the time I can actually get all of them. But I've never gone out of my way to get a good future in all the levels though, because it involves you actually looking around, and I've never really had patience to do that.
I did it for like one or two acts,
Hmm.
but then I just kind of fell out of it because I would miss something, and then just like,
Yeah,
well, I'm not gonna restart the game. There's
yeah.
no point.
Okay, so that was Sonic CD. Next on the list is I've played this like once or twice, so again I don't have much to say about it, but it's a Game Gear game. It was Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos.
Oh yeah, Sonic Chaos. That was actually one of my LPs that I did.
I think I remember that.
Just yeah, I can't remember much from the game to be completely honest. But I do remember like I got when I LP'd it, I got all the way to the end,
Hmm.
like the ending, but then I game overed. And
Oh,
I kinda rage quit.
gotcha.
It was a blind let's play.
I've Again, I think I've only played like the first level, so I can't really say anything. I do remember it having like a spring or something, like a
Yeah,
spring
spring,
item.
that's oh yeah, the spring item. I don't remember what that does. What does
Ride
that
it
do?
like a pogo stick, I think. I don't know.
Like it's one of those things I would have to look at the levels. I'll have to look Google so I can remember more about the game.
Mm,
Is that bad?
I don't know. I have the History of Sonic book right in front of me. I'm looking at it. The beginning or the Japanese title of this game is actually Sonic and Tails,
Huh. Oh yeah, 'cause you can play as Sonic or Tails.
hence Sonic and Tails.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the pogos. Is
Yeah,
it
the pogo stick spring thing.
the pogos spring item and the rocket shoes? I remember the rocket shoes.
Yes, the rocket shoes. I remember them. I think I remember them more in Triple Trouble.
Yeah, because what they do is you fly for a little bit and they give you a really fast speed.
Yeah. So speaking of Triple Trouble, that's the next game on the list. Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble.
Well, let me go back to Sonic Chaos for a little bit because
Okay.
you had Turquoise Hill, Gigopolis, Sleeping Egg, Mecha Green Hill, Aqua Planet, and Electric Egg. Um,
Electric
but
Egg.
cause yeah, the Electric Egg's boss was he was in this like he shot out these projectiles like the
Hmm.
like electric stuff, and it was rather annoying because you could the way the hitbox was on it. I remember could easily be hit by it,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just get so many deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which game is it where um you end up like you're in this electric field and you have to destroy the like a it's not Sonic One. It's one of the
Electric
I don't
Field?
remember. Yeah, it was like I don't remember what it was now.
I don't know.
We might come back to another time.
Yeah, if you think about it later. Um, yeah, next is Triple Trouble, which according to many is considered the best Game Gear game.
It was actually pretty good.
Introduced us to Dak the Weasel, which
Nah.
hasn't appeared again. Well, he's appeared in a few other games after that, but I meant like in terms of modern, he hasn't appeared.
I thought he appeared as a cameo in Generations.
A picture, yes. A picture. That's about it.
Yeah, and the pogo stick and rocket shoot returned from
Yeah.
there this summer.
I think yeah, because it's a sequel to Sonic Chaos because in Japanese its title is Sonic and Tails 2. And it
What?
also has Knuckles in it. He's not playable, but he's in it.
I thought you could play as Knuckles.
Can you?
Let
I
me.
don't know.
Huh. I thought you could play as Knuckles, but no, you can only play as Sonic and Tails. And Sonic has the ability to do the spin dash and super peel out. Now,
Stupid.
I don't remember doing super peel out
I don't
though.
remember that either. But okay, whatever.
Now, the one thing I do remember about Sonic Triple Trouble is Sunset Park because I think it's either the boss or one of the acts. You're on a train,
Mm,
and it's like a scrolling.
right.
I think it's the boss because you had to go across the trains and then hit the boss.
Hmm.
But otherwise, I don't
I
remember
do
much.
remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I remember about Sonic Sunset Park was the one remix that this guy did. It was really, really good.
Hmm.
He does a lot of those classic and modern generations remixes, if you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're. Yes.
It's
Yes.
funny, we barely remember anything about the Game Gear games, despite the fact that I did an LP on them.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about a lot of the Game Gear games to be honest. And the next one is also a Game Gear game on the list, but it's actually one I've played because it's not really a Sonic game. It's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh yes, I remember that game.
I am horrible at this game too.
Yeah, the farthest I've ever gotten on it is like the fifth or sixth stage.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never gotten up to Dr. Robotnik.
me neither. I've seen people beat Dr. Robotnik on the hardest difficulty and just like, you just sit there with your jaw dropped the entire
Yeah.
time. I think
Not,
one of the problems when I first played it is I never understood the concept like entirely.
I
Because when
guess you
I
could
think
say it's like not really Tetris, but it's a puzzle game, obviously.
yeah, it's a puzzle game. Obviously, I think it's what game is it ripped off of?
Oh, jeez. I think I can let you know.
I know there's a lot of games that have the
Puyo
same.
Puyo, Pio
Yeah,
Pio, however you say that name.
Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, except they just use Sonic characters instead. Which
Yeah,
it's
and they
funny how
use
the is it the ASTH
yeah,
Robotnik?
it's yeah, the
It's either
Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog TV show, Robotnik, as well as Scratch and Grounder.
I was gonna say it was either ASTH or SAT-AM. Because I know there was one game they were potentially doing that was SAT-AM Sonic,
That was
but
canceled. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, that was canceled. Yeah, as far as the Mean Bean Machine, I really don't have much to say about it. It's a puzzle game. It's
It's a puzzle game, and I prefer playing games like Tetris or the Puzzle League games or
yeah.
Dr. Mario. Because I like those concepts better than Puyo Puyo
Hmm.
and B Machine. I mean, there's not really much you can say about it in terms of plot. It's just
Exactly.
what was the plot? It
I
was a
don't I don't even know if there was a plot.
there was a plot.
Oh,
Um,
where is it again? Here it is.
what wasn't he like? It wasn't roboticizing, but because roboticizing is like SAT AM, I think, or the Sonic Underground.
I don't know.
This is
I'm not reading anything on if there was a story not to it.
well. Let me look it up then. I have
Okay, in the meantime, the next game on the list is not a Game Gear game, it's actually one of the main series games. It is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but I'm also adding Sonic and Knuckles with it because it's technically all one game.
Okay, I found the storyline for Mean Bean Machine. I'm just
Okay.
gonna read for what I said on Sonic Retro. Robotnik has hatched a plan to ensure that no music or fun remains on the planet Mobius. To do this, he kidnaps the citizens of Beanville and stuffs them in a giant roboticizing machine called the Mean Bean.
Beanville?
Yes, Mean
What?
Bean Steaming Machine. Hence the game's title. To make them into his robotic slaves. So actually, yeah, I was right about the
I
roboticizing.
I guess that's why the beans have eyes.
As a character has been based on Puyo Puyo's carbuncle, the player must foil Robotnik's plans by By defeating, it says defeat, but I
Mm,
know it has to say defeating each of the robot's guards, and finally Robotnik himself to foil his evil plans. That their
boy.
battles take the form of competitive puzzle gaming. Yeah, there's the storyline
Okay.
for PvP Machine.
It's
It's a really
definitely
good
not
plot.
canon. I would give it that much. But
Then
yes.
again, is ASTH canon anyways? No.
Yeah. So, anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles.
Another game that I had on the obviously Mega Collection,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I ever played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I either played Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles.
Well, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is where it's at, man. It's my
Well,
favorite classic game.
yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't like. I just like Sonic 2 better.
It has Hyper Sonic.
It's
You know,
called Seizure Sonic.
Caesar Sonic, whatever. No,
But
but
yeah,
yeah, it's definitely
I'd
my
say
favorite classic game.
I would say it's my second favorite if you put Sonic 3 and Knuckles together, and then followed by Sonic, possibly Sonic CD or Sonic 1. I never put Sonic CD in my classics for whatever reason.
Because no one knows where it's at on the timeline.
Well, apparently it's before Sonic 4, which makes no sense.
It really doesn't make sense.
Is it, from what I know, it's Sonic 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 2,
Yeah,
Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles.
because timeline-wise, we'll get to these two games eventually, but Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol happen before Sonic and Tails meet. So during Sonic CD, that's where Tails can be off doing.
Which really makes no sense when the new version put Tails.
Well, then we'll put as Tails is doing all that stuff in Sonic 1 during Sonic 1. There you go. I don't know. Anyway,
Let's see, Sonic 3. What would be my favorite level in Sonic 3? I would probably say Launch Base Zone.
really? Not
Yeah,
Ice Cap?
no. The reason why I don't. I mean, I like Ice Cap Zone, but it's very, very overrated.
I like the music.
Yeah, that's also overrated. I
Do
mean, there's
do
about
do 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 do.
there's about like 300 billion, gazillion, quadrillion remixes of it.
True.
I mean, it's a good song, but after you hear so many remixes and everything, you just kind of get sick of it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, the reason why I like Sonic the Launch Base Zone better is because I like the go 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 go.
It's like Sonic Rush before Sonic Rush.
Yeah, you have all those little like go go go, and it's like
Yeah. I mean, the zones in Sonic 3 are Angel Island, Hydra City, Marble Garden, Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base.
now I would say we could obviously say the obvious thing about Carnival Night Zone, but I never had
Yeah,
issues with
I've never,
that.
I never had issues with that either. So
I mean, it wasn't until I really started getting on the internet a lot that I hear people like, "Oh my God, the barrel, the barrel, the
I think
barrel
they're
of
just
doom."
overreacting.
I,
Is what I think.
well, here's the thing with that barrel. One of the arguments that I've heard that actually does make sense is that it changes how the barrel, that specific barrel, works compared to everything else that you go through so far.
Hmm.
So therefore, when you get to that, your first time, you expect it to work the same way as everything else. But when it
Right.
doesn't work, you kind of just scratch your head going, how am I supposed to do this?
Hmm.
Why did they suddenly change it up without really giving me any indication? And I guess a lot of people got stuck on that.
I guess
I per-
so.
I personally never had any issues. I
Yeah,
mean,
same here.
not to the extreme point that people have. I mean, it took me a little bit my first time just because I was like, okay, this is strange, but I got through it pretty quickly after that.
I also think Sonic 3 has the most diversity because, I mean, you have one boss where Tails is actually carrying you and you're fighting it, which I think is cool.
Which boss is that? Is that?
It's the Marble Garden boss.
Oh yeah, Marble Garden is just. I don't like Marble Garden.
The only thing I don't like about Marble Garden are the spinning top things.
Oh yeah, those things. You know what
And
that reminds
they're
me
a pain
of?
to control.
The spinning tops reminds me of the spinning top challenges in Generations.
That's because that's what they're based off of.
I know, and they're still annoying.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. But
Yep.
no, Sonic 3 is really good, and then you add it to Sonic and Knuckles, and it's just like a giant game.
It was supposed to be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but due to time, they.
Yeah, time restraints. Um,
At first, when I heard about that, I thought it was due to the cartridge size, but
I think it was both
I think it was a
time
combination.
restraint and cartridge size.
I mean, there was something we didn't talk about Sonic 2 when I think about it, about all the cut levels that they had.
Hmm. I know, Sonic and Knuckles, you have like my personal least favorite of both Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and that's Sandopolis. More so Act 2. But yeah.
I love Sandopolis.
Anyway, the less said about that, the better. You also have, Sky Sanctuary. You have Doomsday Zone, which has awesome music.
Oh, I love Doomsday Zone.
And Sonic and Knuckles also came with a lock-on cartridge, which obviously is how you played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but also you could have Knuckles in Sonic 2, which makes it actually harder because Knuckles doesn't have as high as a jump as.
You know, I actually unlocked Sonic 2 and Knuckles on Mega Collection. I only played it
Yeah,
once, but it was like, wow, this feels a lot different.
it's definitely is different. And then if you hook it up to like Sonic 1 or any other game, you'll get Blue Spheres, which is basically just a bunch, and I mean a bunch of Sonic 3 special stages.
I think it's like a millions of levels that you could potentially get. So if you had a lot of time to waste,
Actually, okay, it is 128,016,000 of them.
so if you have time to waste, you can
Yeah,
play through 128 million Blue Spears levels, which
but
those are actually my favorite of the
yeah,
special
I was just
stages.
about to say that, which is why I'm hoping if they do a Sonic 4 Episode 3, they bring this back. It seems like they probably will on how they're going, but, yeah.
Well, the problem with Sonic 4 Episode 3, I don't know if they're going to do it. We haven't even heard anything
I don't
about
know.
it.
There's been a rumor on it. I just heard a rumor about it on the Sonic Stadium.
Well, we've heard rumors about Sonic Adventure 3 for years. So,
People are still thinking that that's what the next 3D game is going to be, but I don't know.
I don't think it's if it's going to be Adventure 3, it's probably going to be a bad
I
trying to
just want my
capitalize
Chow
this.
Garden back.
We'll get to Sonic Adventure 2 when we get to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Any
I would say
more any more
Sonic
final
Adventure.
thoughts on Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
I just want to say I absolutely love Sandopolis. I don't care what anyone says. I love
Eh.
Sandopolis,
Lava Reef
especially
sounds
Act
good.
2. I don't like the Lava Reef Zone. There's just
Music is
too
really good too.
many. There's just too many bad enemy placements to where unless you have a fire shield the entire time.
Well, you can get
eh,
one, so
Yeah, but if you accidentally run into something anyways, then you're just kind of screwed. Which is something we haven't really talked about is the power ups. I mean,
no,
we
we
talked a
haven't.
little bit about it.
Yeah, since still a lot of them will be reoccurring back in later games anyway, let's just go through them. You obviously have monitors or item boxes out there. Now, you have, rings, which basically just give you 10 rings or whatever it is. You have lives, and then you have stuff like shields, which Sonic 3 and Knuckles brought to you elemental shields. Which Q do you want to go over them?
You have the fire shield, the electric shield, the ice shield. No, this is electric.
No. Water.
Water, yeah, water. And the normal shield, was it?
I don't think the normal shield was in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but there is a normal shield that was in Sonic 1 and 2 and brought back in later games.
Yeah, the normal shield just gives you one extra hit before
Yeah.
you lose rings. The fire shield allows you to dash.
And
Do a
it's
little.
impervious to fire, obviously.
The electric shield, it allows you to double jump.
It allows you to double jump and as well as attract rings, which the
Which
electric shield does reappear in like 3D games, but it loses its double jump ability.
isn't it an adventure?
Yes, it is.
Okay, And then you have the bubble shield, which allows you to breathe underwater, and then you do the bubble jump, which is a recurring power-up in Sonic Adventure 2.
Which then will be called the bounce bracelet. And it's also in Sonic 06 as the bound bracelet. I don't know why they changed the name, but okay.
Okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it basically did the same thing. So yeah, that was Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
But in terms of my favorite power-up, I don't know. It's like each one has their uses. And each one, I mean, I particularly like the electric shield just because I like getting rings, but...
Right. They all have a good use. I mean, the bubble shield, we didn't mention it, but it also allows you to breathe underwater.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh, did you? Oops, my bad.
You know, did you ever watch SGB play Sonic 3? Matt play it?
I think I did. Yeah, where he kept dying a lot? Yes.
Where he drowned
in
Angel Island.
Yes, I remember that. Nobody's gonna let him live that down.
No, nobody is. Then again, Elliot died in World 1-1.
Yeah, I recorded Mario 1. Future heads up here. And Morgan actually played it. Yeah. Not that bad, but you know. Anyway. The next game is actually not on my list, but it's in the book. I actually remember playing it too. Sonic Blast for the Game Gear.
Yep, that's another game that I LP'd. Now, what I do remember about Sonic Blast is how they had the 3D-ish model sprites, which looked really, really ugly, in my opinion.
It was like 2.5D, but not really.
Yeah, it's like 2.5D, but like 8-bit 2.5D, which, unless you do, it's like having a 3D perspective on NES game.
Yeah.
It's just not going to look that great.
I mean, it does. Maybe back then it looked pretty good, but in terms of
today,
in
terms of now, it just looks ugly and rushed.
I mean, even Sonic 1, 2, and 3 still look good in terms of today. Obviously not like amazing, but they've aged well graphically speaking.
Yeah, but Sonic Blast is just...
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this other than when Clement played it, it was funny watching him suffer.
Sonic, let's just talk about let's see, what were the levels in the game?
I don't even know. I just know there was one water level that was insanely hard.
Oh, I think that was because of how the level was designed.
And I like how the picture in this book is actually, they have a picture of that water level and Sonic's drowning. So.
Oh, yeah, because it started off, it's like a maze. You have to go through the right pipes, kind of like Scrambled Egg Zone, I believe. And then, like, the boss, they give you, like, no air. And you have to fight the boss completely underwater.
Right. Well.
And then, like, what I do remember about it is, because when I went underwater, I was expecting, like, after a little bit, you hear the 5/4, the drowning theme, and it just never happened. Never happened. Never happened. And I thought for a while that you could breathe underwater in Sonic Blast, but then when I actually stayed underwater long enough, it actually started doing that, and I started freaking out because I didn't realize you could actually drown.
Right.
It was either that or it was just specific to the boss level itself you could drown, because I don't remember ever getting the drowning music, which I don't even think there was drowning music in the Game Gear games.
There was either.
I think it was just it had the countdown and that was it.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
Now, there is one aspect of most of the Game Gear games that I don't really understand. It's like you have that speed meter at the end of like an act. And it shows like the speed you went at.
Yeah.
Which I never understood what the purpose of that. Was it like your time?
I don't know. Bonus? I think it added to your score, but I'm not sure.
I know it added to your score, but I don't know what it was based off. Like, was it based off the speed you were going when you hit the goalpost with the time you
Yeah, I
went
think that's what that
through.
was.
Which, if that's that, then it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it can't be because I've went like it'll randomly give me like a 900 kilometers per second,
No,
despite the fact that
900.
I went through it very slow.
Mhm.
So I never understood that aspect of most of the Game Gear games.
Yeah. That's all I can say about Sonic Blast.
Yeah, all I can say about the Sonic Blast is just the graphics aren't really that great for it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's strange because most of the Game Gear games actually look pretty decent.
Yeah. And then we'll get to some here coming up that actually look a little better. Um, which I'll just use as a transition anyway. Now these don't look that good, but these two games, not really a big fan of, but it's Sonic Drift 1 and 2.
I've never played them, so I can't really say much about them.
They're Mario Kart ripoffs, but they're pretty meh in my opinion.
They look like Sonic, like Super Mario Kart, but just kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, that's about all I can really say about
If you want to play a race game that has Sonic in a car, go for All Stars Racing or All Stars Racing Transformed. They're so much better games.
it. Yeah, I actually have All Stars Racing Transformed on my Wii U.
We'll get to that.
hmm
So, not much to say about Sonic Drift. They're meh.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Meh. The one thing it started is, why is Sonic in a car?
Oh, whatever. He's trying to be fair. Shh.
Oh.
Alright, next up is not a Game Gear game. It is Knuckles
Aw.
Chaotix.
I can't say much about that myself. I've only
Neither
listened to
can
like
I.
the music of it. The summer
During
was
the
it?
summer?
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
the intro stage music.
I think so.
I mean, with one of those games I do want to try out eventually,
Yeah, same here.
but I think the most that I know about it, it wasn't that was originally going to be Sonic and Tails, but then they
It was
changed
originally
it
going to
to.
be called Sonic Crackers. I don't know why crackers, but okay.
I can see why they changed the name, especially back in the 90s.
The one thing I do know about Knuckles Chaotix is, well, one, it introduced us to the Chaotix and Mighty. And it had like a partner type system where you're like on a rubber band the entire time.
Yeah, I
Not
always thought that was Sonic Chaos for some reason, where they had that rubber band system.
mm,
But I always saw like Sonic and Tails, the original concept for Knuckles Chaotix with the partner system. That's why I got confused about it.
right. Yeah, like again, I've played Knuckles Chaotix once on an emulator and I could not get used to the controls. But
I'll probably play it on emulator eventually just to
they
see
need to
how it is.
re-release it sometime. I think so
Yeah,
anyway. I'm surprised it hasn't been re-released on a collection yet.
I know it's surprising considering they give you like the flicky game of all things
I
on Mega
know, I
Collection,
know,
which is actually pretty fun.
I know. I've played it. It's on what is it, Mega Collection?
Yeah, it was on Mega Collection.
Yeah. All right. That's all I can say about Knuckles Chaotix. All I know is also that Metal Sonic is the boss in it. But,
Hmm.
yeah. All right. Moving on, we have two more Game Gear games, and those are Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol.
Okay, Tales Adventure, I can't really say much, but I have actually played it. I played it on
Yeah.
emulator recently, and the controls were just weird.
It's
It's
definitely not a Sonic game. I mean, it's
no,
a Sonic game, but control-wise, it's not a Sonic game.
it's like Metroid with Tails, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not because you have the typical map screen.
Yeah.
Now, like your only means of attack is throwing the bombs, which my problem with the bombs is you can't really control where they go that much.
Yeah.
They just arc.
hmm
You can't jump on enemies. And then you have 10 rings, which once you run out of rings, it's game over. You start back from the very beginning.
Black.
At least yeah, I don't like games that do that. But yeah, the game
Well,
really wants to encourage exploration.
Yeah, definitely going back to places once you get better items and whatnot. The book here actually states that this was probably one of the best Sonic titles, Sonic in quotation marks, on the Game Gear. I don't know if I agree with that.
Now, I can say, maybe graphically speaking, yeah, it looks great for a Game Gear game. In fact, when I saw the tail sprite, I didn't even notice the difference between it and the 16-bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Now the other Tails
But
game was Tails Sky Patrol, which I do not like. It's hard.
I is it where you're in that like Sky Pop esque?
Maybe. What is it? You're like Tails holding a ring. If you touch anything, you're dead.
Wow,
So it's hard.
that doesn't sound fun.
You'd have to look stuff up about it because I've played it once or twice. Yeah, I haven't beaten it either.
I thought there was
I would play Tails Adventure before I would play Sky Patrol.
yeah. From what it sounds like, I would do that as well. Also, are we missing the Sonic Game Gear game?
Yes, and I'm just about to reference that because it's next on the list.
Oh
Ugh,
yeah.
I don't want to. Next and final Game Gear game is Sonic Labyrinth. Uh,
Oh, Sonic Labyrinth.
my least favorite. Actually, I shouldn't say least because it's not my least anymore. It's my second least favorite Sonic game of all time.
I could say that it's a decent game,
It's,
but not a
I mean,
good
it's not
Sonic
like
game.
horrible, but I just don't like it.
It completely just takes away anything about Sonic,
hmm
and you just feel frustrated the entire time you play it.
Yeah, the story to this was Sonic got his trademark sneakers stolen by Dr. Robotnik, and they were replaced with slowdown boots. So now all Sonic can do is roll into a ball and use the spin dash, and walk very, very slowly.
And when we mean very, very slowly, we mean very, very slow.
And the
Even with the speed up power up that's in the game, you still go even slower than Sonic's.
and the gameplay is you're looking for three keys throughout this labyrinth type maze thing. It's isometric, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
and the problem with that is like the hitboxes on the enemies.
Yeah.
You'll oftentimes, if you do a spin dash, you'll just end up getting hit by an enemy anyways.
hmm
And then the keys scatter everywhere, and if you let the keys scatter for too long, I think they revert back to their original positions.
hmm I think so.
Yeah,
But
I actually did LP this game, and
I've never beaten it.
I beat it.
I have.
I can, I
I
can,
don't care to.
I can say, I don't know if I should be proud or not, but I have beaten it. I, I'm not exactly
I'm so
proud of
proud of
that
you.
achievement. I am. There's another game that I'm not sure whether I should be proud or not that I've beaten, and you know all
We'll
about
get
it.
to that.
Yeah, we'll get
That's
to
on the
that.
list. We'll get to
Yeah,
that. Okay,
but yeah,
next on the list though is we've talked about Sonic Labyrinth isometric stuff. There was another isometric Sonic game that came out in what year was this? 1996
1986.
and 97, depending on where you were. It is Sonic 3D Blast.
And unlike Sonic Labyrinth, I actually like Sonic 3D Blast.
It's not my favorite, but it definitely is an enjoyable game.
Well, I mean, I can understand the criticisms that people give to it that it's not really a Sonic game, but at the
It,
same time, it's still an enjoyable experience. A lot more than I can ever say about Sonic Labyrinth.
yeah, definitely.
Also, it was called Flicky's Island in Europe and Japan.
Yep, Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. Um, it was released for the Genesis, Saturn, and eventually the PC. And then
I
re-released on like Mega Collection.
I had it on the Mega Collection. I also had the original PC version as well.
Yeah, Sonic 3D Blast is definitely a good game. Special
It
stages, special stages for the
Genesis
Genesis
version.
version were insanely easy.
Yeah,
And
because
then you
all it
had
is you just walk forward and you collect rings and then you jump over the mines, and that's about it.
And then if you go to the Saturn version, it's like Sonic 2, but it was
Which that
like one of the
doesn't.
first times where Sonic was in complete 3D, so it was kind of cool at the time.
Yeah, but I don't really like Sonic 2 special stages, so I'll just go with the
Sega must like it because they reused that concept a lot in future games.
Yeah, which we'll be getting to those when we get to them.
I mean, some of them are okay, but yeah, we'll get to them. Oh my gosh, it's already been over an hour. We need to speed this up here. Well,
But
thankfully, we're almost done with the classic 2D era. But I have a lot to say about, modern era, so
yeah, I have a lot to say about it too. But the one level that I do remember distinctly in 3D Blast is Volcano Valley, because you can easily lose the flickies and then you'll never be able to get them back
one
because
thing
of how the level design is.
one thing I do like though is each flicky, there's certain flicky types. Each flicky has a different like way they move about after you lose them. So
I
it
think
adds kind of variety to it, which I do enjoy that. Some of them can get annoying, like the red ones, but
isn't the green one it hops around?
I think it's the red one that hops around.
I thought the green one was the spaz.
I
It
don't
might have
know.
been the red one though, but
Might have been. I don't know.
no, I can't say I've beaten 3D Blast that many times. I've beaten it once or twice.
I've
Once
beaten it
with the
once with all.
bad ending, and I've beaten it with all the emeralds.
There's no supersonic. It's just unlocks the final boss, which you're walking on this invisible yet not invisible thing. I don't know. It's weird.
Now, have you listened to the Saturn soundtrack?
No, but this is one of those other games that have two different soundtracks. Um,
Yeah,
this was this I think this was the first game that Jun Sonoy helped with. Am I right?
I
Because I
think
think
so.
that's why there's a lot of remixes of some of the 3D Blast songs in Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, like Green Grove.
Mm,
You have
I'm sure
didn't
that
they do a remix of Puppet Panic?
I think so. I think yeah, I think I'd have to go back and listen to them again, but I'm pretty sure. Um,
Now, in terms of the graphics for the Saturn version, I actually really do like how they updated the graphics for the Saturn version, but I've never played the Saturn version
yeah. I mean
myself.
the graphics for the Genesis version are not that bad either. I mean they're not great, but I mean they're not like Sonic Blast horrible.
No.
Yeah, don't get Sonic 3D Blast confused with Sonic Blast.
Yeah,
They're two
definitely
totally
don't.
different games.
And Sonic 3D Blast is miles better.
Yeah. But I would still play Sonic Blast over Sonic Labyrinth. Just saying.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from Sonic 3D Blast, what's next? We have an arcade game that was just recently released on the Xbox 360 and PS3. It is Sonic the Fighters.
Which I've never played.
Oh, really?
No.
I
I
would
want
give it a
to.
I would give it a try because it's actually really, really fun. If you want to go for Sonic the Fighters, go for the newly released version because you can actually play as Metal Sonic and Honey the
Eggman.
Cat for some reason. I mean, it was a character that wanted to be introduced in Sonic the Fighters but never was.
It was a debug character, if I recall correctly.
But she actually got her own thing now in the HD port of it. And I
And then
think
you
you
can
can also
play.
play as Dr. Eggman, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, you can play as Dr. Eggman. You could play as Dr. Eggman in the original version, but that was by hacking, and he was
Yeah, you can
pretty
play as
much.
Metal Sonic by hacking too, but the HD version you can actually play as them whenever you
Yeah.
want.
I do like how they added those characters, and they actually. It wasn't more than just a straight up port of the game.
Yeah, and it also has one of the ports. It actually has online, which is cool.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah, otherwise, I really can't say much about Sonic the Fighters. It seems like a decent fighting game.
it's a pretty decent fighting game. There's another Sonic fighting game that I like more, but we'll get to that. Um, the characters, you have Sonic, you have Tails, Knuckles, you have Amy, her classic Amy, you have Knack the Weasel, you have SBO, the only Chaotix member playable in this game, and then you have Bark, the polar bear, I think it is, and Bean the Dynamite, which never
Bean?
appear again.
Huh.
Well, until Generations on a poster, but that's beside the point.
Every time I think of that, I think of Dynamite Heady.
Bean the Dynamite looks oddly, like, very similar to Jet the Hawk. So maybe we can count Bean the Dynamite as classic Jet the Hawk. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah, alright. Other than that, I can say some of the music in Sonic the Fighters is actually really good. I do like a lot of the tunes in that. That's
Oh,
about all I can say.
yeah. That's about all I can say as well.
Next is a game that was released for the Saturn and PC. It has music that you would not think would be in a racing game, because whatever. And it introduced us to a doll that gave everybody nightmares. This game is Sonic R.
Yep, I have Sonic R for the PC, actually.
I have it for Mega Collection? Or no, or is it Gem? I think it's
I think it's Gems, because I don't remember seeing
okay,
Sonic.
then it's Gems. But that was the first time I played it.
Yeah, Sonic R is, it's better than Sonic Drift,
Yeah,
but not by much,
not.
technically speaking. Because one of the big problems with the game is balance issues.
Yeah, I mean, Supersonic's in the game. You have to go through a lot to unlock him. But once you unlock Supersonic, you basically can't be any of the secret characters because if you are a secret character, you're racing against Supersonic and you'll automatically lose.
Yeah, because unless the AI just acts really, really, really
Which
stupid.
is very rare anyway.
Yeah, which is very rare. The chance of you winning against Supersonic is about the chances
Yeah,
of
if you
winning the
wanted to be
lottery.
like Metal Sonic, Egg Robo, Mecha Knuckles, which is like the only playable appearance of Mecha Knuckles, what? Mecha Knuckles, and Tails Daw, don't unlock Supersonic then. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Uh, It, I mean, I had fun with Sonic R from what I've
Yeah,
played of it, but it's not something I would pick up and play all the time. It's just
no.
something if you're really, really bored.
Although I will say, I do like the soundtrack, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I especially love the remixes they have in like All Stars Racing Transformed and Generations.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Are you the
Also,
yes man now?
sure. One thing I will mention is Sonic R also lacks levels. There's only four
Five.
levels. What's it, five? Five levels
Yeah,
in the entire game.
well, there's
So,
four levels, but you have to unlock the final level.
yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of replayability there.
You can literally beat the game in like 30 minutes, from what I've heard.
Yeah, if
Which
you're
I
good. I
can
mean,
I
some
can
stuff is
see.
hard to get, because you have to like get 5 gold coins in every level and come in first. And then there's Chaos Emeralds scattered throughout each one. So
Yeah, which that doesn't sound fun.
I've done it, but whatever.
Yeah, that's about all I can really
Everybody in
say
this
about.
game is on foot though, so if you want a foot racing Sonic game, here you go. Except Amy and Dr. Eggman, they're in vehicles.
And they are slow. At least
Yes.
Amy is.
The only thing I can say good about either of them is Dr. Eggman shoots missiles at characters and Amy floats atop water. She was
Which
racing transformed before racing transformed out.
yeah, but I can see Amy being good if the level is like mostly water, but otherwise she's like a tank,
Yeah.
and not in a
Like
good
first
way.
level. Oh.
And awkward silence.
Anything else you have to say about Sonic R?
Not really. It's just a decent racing game that doesn't really have that much replayability.
Okay, then let's finish off the classic series completely before we head off into modern era and go to one of the. It is a modern game, but it's technically part of the classic series, and that's the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 saga.
No. Sonic 4. Ugh.
Start with episode 1.
I have to say, it was hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped.
Well, yeah, it's Sonic 4. It came out, what, 11 years later? Of course it's gonna.
I mean, when I first heard,
16
like,
years
you saw
later. Sorry.
the teaser trailer and it had the, you know, was it the classic 16-bit Sonic rolling to the screen?
Um, I don't.
I remember,
I
like,
just know.
one of
I
the
just
trail.
remember it being like codenamed Project Needle Mouse.
Yeah,
And I
I
remember the
remember
whole
that.
thing where they had a list of characters, and like every day, I think it was every day, they crossed off characters.
No, it was like
I was like,
every.
no, they crossed off big. Why?
What I remember, like, they had concept art for characters. Like, every week they would show a new concept. But the thing was,
It was just concepts of the badniks, though.
it was concepts of already used badniks.
Yeah.
Which, while that was cool, I would have preferred to show off new things. I think you even show off concept art for a palm tree. It's like,
Right.
really? Really?
I will say one thing about Sonic 4 while, um, just going straight to the game here. It's obviously definitely not classic-like, because it's, well, not necessarily just because you have the modern Sonic model, but, you have the inclusion of the homing attack, but the physics are a little wonky in Episode 1 compared to
Because
classics.
it's based off the Sonic. It has the Sonic Rush engine, but it's heavily
Yeah.
modified.
So basically you can stand on a wall at some point in time.
Which I think Sonic 4 Episode 2 fixed a little bit, but
Sonic 2
not a
Episode 4
lot.
has better physics than Episode 1 does.
Yeah, because one of the big things they touted fixing between Sonic 4 Episode 1 and Episode 2 was the uncurling during rolling.
Yes, which they did fix that. Um,
Yeah, that's one of the things I really did not like about Sonic 4 Episode 1, besides the fact that I didn't really like the graphical style. I didn't like how they reused pretty much zone ideas, but they had.
They pretty much
Cause,
reused everything, Q, because the bosses even were not really that original.
well, you pretty much. The zones were not Green Hill Zone, not
Casino,
Casino,
not
not
Labyrinth, and not
Metropolis.
Metropolis. Although the music, on the other hand, while not all of it is memorable, I like Splash Hill's theme and I like Mad Gear Zone theme.
And no way, I have. Never mind, that's Sonic 4 Episode 2. That's because I had
Well,
a boss music in my head.
we can transition into Episode 2, but I will say one more thing about Episode 1 is something. Wow.
something.
Oh, I do like some of the Kashuna Street levels with some of the card gimmicks, because I think that's actually cool. That's new.
The problem with that was you could easily get up to hundreds and hundreds of lives.
True, but how
Which is
often can you homing attack a pile of cards as it spins through the air and you're running across them?
not that often.
Exactly.
But yeah, I thought like the NSMB games were easy to get levels on, but this was just like you could literally get
Yeah.
30 lives in one level.
The only
You
other
just
thing I can mention is crap.
The one thing I can mention about it is that the achievement that I know I'll never get in
Oh
it is
gosh.
going.
Yes.
You know that achievement is going through Egg Station Zone without getting damaged.
No, because I can make it to the final boss, but the thinking final boss, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, darn it.
It's the final boss for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but
Even the
more.
final boss is ripped off.
I know it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2's final boss, but even more annoying.
Yes.
Which you know what I've actually beaten.
I have too. I haven't beaten it without taking damage, but I have beaten it. Anyway,
Well, I mean,
the one thing I did want to mention is that this game was leaked, and there were 2 levels that were taken out of the final build. They were kept in on the
iPhone and Android version.
yeah, which I have played. I'm glad they changed them.
Yeah, like I heard it's really, really awkward.
The Casino Night one was basically you're just playing pinball until you get a certain number of points, and then you'll beat the level. The other one is you're controlling a minecart by tilting the device. So,
That just doesn't sound fun.
speaking of tilting, the special stages in Sonic 4 Episode 1 are Sonic 1 special stage, except you're not controlling Sonic. You're controlling the stage.
Which I've never got all 7 Chaos Emeralds.
I have. It was a pain in the butt.
I've gotten up to the 5th one, and then I just get circle jerked by the traps.
Yeah.
You know where you
really.
go? Yeah.
But
and I've never gotten past it.
I have no more to say about Episode 1. Episode 2, on the other hand, I think is a lot better. Visually and gameplay-wise.
It's better gameplay-wise, but not better enough, considering how much time they've had between the Episode 1 and Episode 2.
Well, hopefully, maybe Episode 3 will be better.
I doubt it.
With playable Knuckles. And blue spheres. I want my blue spheres.
Well, I mean, I think the problem was they were touting more of the graphics than the gameplay, because they talked about the NVIDIA's Tegra 3 chips that they were coming out at the time, showing how they can play on Android with the Tegra 3 chips and everything else. It's just like, I don't care.
Now,
I just want to see gameplay.
One thing I don't like about Sonic 4 Episode 2, I mean, it's a good idea, but I think it breaks up the flow sometimes, is the tag actions.
The Super 69 tech?
While I like it because it makes you go super fast, and I like the fact that Tails can carry you on the fly, just the fact that you actually have to press a button and he pauses for like 3 seconds to do this animation before it happens is really... It breaks up the speed of the game, I think.
And then you have the other one where Tails lifts Sonic up into the air, and then they design parts of the level around that.
Mm-hmm. Although one thing that is cool that I do like is if you have Tails flying, carrying you underwater, you can infinitely swim, which I do like that.
Yeah, I do like that, but what's this, the not oil ocean-esque zone?
Oil desert?
Yeah, oil desert.
With the weird cat music.
I
do like some of the music in this one too,
but it's nothing memorable.
Well, some of it I think is memorable. Like the Metal Sonic boss theme, I think is memorable.
Nah, I do like the Metal Sonic boss battles.
And what was it? Oh no, White Park Zone Act 2 has a remix of Pleasure Castle, Twinkle Park from Sonic Adventure in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But the problem with that was it was just too automated. Like I liked the concept for Act 2, but it was like you barely could control Sonic during there. You were just hitting booster rail at their boost and boost and boost, which is one of my main criticisms.
If I'll give Episode 2 any credit, it's that the final boss was very original.
It wasn't really good, though.
It was hard.
It was annoying. More than hard.
You actually have to beat it with Supersonic once, which is still insanely hard. Even with Supersonic.
Yeah, because I want to say there was a decent idea, but it was just ended up where you just jumped up and hope you didn't run into the electric fields, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the fact that you had to require to do the Super 69 attack practically to do the last few hits.
Yeah, you did have to do that.
Because if you tried, I think you just bounced off that... it was either he generated a shield around himself, or you just couldn't reach him in time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it was just a bled boss.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'll give them credit that they tried something original.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Not really perfect.
So
it needed a lot of work.
That said, any more to say on Sonic 4 Saga?
It was. I hope they. I don't know if I want them to do an episode 3, to be completely honest.
They ended on a cliffhanger, sort of.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't even think they had a cliffhanger for episode 2.
Well, the cliffhanger was Little Big Planet, which is back from Sonic CD, is still entrapped within the Death Egg. at the end
Yeah,
of
which is.
episode 2.
I thought it was blowing up though. Like the.
No, it wasn't blowing up.
Huh. But yeah, there was actually a to be continued that was supposed to be there originally, but I think they excluded that.
I don't know why.
It was in the code though,
Weird.
which that could be easily said that they probably just reused the code.
Yeah. That's all I can say about Sonic 4 episode 2. Definitely not like Sonic 3 or Sonic 2. But I don't think it's a horrible game. It's definitely not like Sonic Labyrinth or another game we'll get to shortly. But the next game is one I have not played, but I've heard it's really good. Is Sonic Pocket Adventure.
Sonic Pocket Adventure?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. You'd have to.
It was released for the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
And I know, isn't the Neo Geo those huge ass cartridges?
I think maybe, but it was like it had elements from Sonic 2 on the Genesis with a few differences in terms of level design, and it had like the Sonic Adventure character models. I mean, obviously it's like 16-bit or whatever, but I mean Sonic had green eyes and everything. It has like a Doomsday Zone at the end. I don't know, it's weird.
Huh. Hey, it's very weird. The only, like, whenever I think of something like that, I think of Sonic Jump.
We'll get to that. Because that's later in the list. Alright. Alright, moving on from that, since we both don't really have much to say about that, is the first 3D game, Sonic Adventure.
Yay!
For the
Woo!
Dreamcast and later released for the GameCube, as well as the Xbox 360 and PS3. I love Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, so do I. Recently now, I usually try to do speed runs more than anything of the levels.
Right.
I have put
Getting those A ranks.
Yeah, putting a lot of effort in getting to the A ranks. And I can say that I'm actually really, really good on Emerald Coast now.
Emerald Coast. Na.
I love Emerald Coast.
Emerald Coast has awesome music, which again, Sonic Adventure has awesome music anyway. The whole game does.
Overall, I just love Sonic Adventure. I've listened to Johnny's review and he talks about how the story is kind of bleh.
Well, I mean,
if you really think about it.
It's bleh, but it's not that bad, I don't think.
When you first, overall, I think, unless you really try to connect all the stories together, I think it's a decent plot.
Mm-hmm. It's the first Sonic game to have voice acting, too.
Yeah, and the voice acting is really, it's a first time.
Yeah, some of it's not bad, though. I mean, like, Dr. Eggman's not really that bad. Get a load of this.
Who played the voice act Dr. Eggman then?
Dean Bridgestow.
And he died, didn't he?
Yeah, he's no longer with us.
That's sad.
Yeah, but I mean,
we have a better voice actor.
Yeah, Mike Pollock is really good as Eggman.
I think he's probably the best.
This is the first game where we also were introduced to the name Dr. Eggman, unless you're in Japan, in which they always called him Dr. Eggman. So take that, peoples.
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's a nickname. I think is it like Eggman Robotnik? I don't know how they.
Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game introduced 6 playable characters.
You have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big, and E102 Gamma. And I said that off the top of my head without even having to think about it.
And that's
how much I love the game. Yep.
And you have Super Sonic too. He has his own separate story.
No, there is one thing that I have to say about I have a bug that someone has, I think it's a bug almost exclusive to my disc.
What?
because I asked Connie about it, but he never. There's a bug where if you play as Sonic, like after you beat Super Sonic, I believe it is, and you go to the floating island, you can see the models of Eggman
Oh,
and Knuckles
yeah, I
laying
think
on
you
the
mentioned
ground.
that in our Sonic Adventure playthrough.
Yeah, and I no one's ever confirmed to me that the bug is a actual bug or it's just a
I
bug
don't
that I
know,
have.
because I've never seen it myself. So,
It is a weird bug, and I know I've seen it for myself. It's I don't know. I think it just might be a bug in my game.
that's possible. Very possible. But, yeah, you have Sonic's gameplay, which is, 3D Sonic, speed, everything there. You have Tails, which is basically racing gimmick.
Which
You
you
have,
can easily break the levels.
yeah, especially Windy Valley. You can fly through that entire level without touching ground until the very end. You have
I've tr-
Knuckles, which is treasure hunting.
Now I have a lot to say about the treasure hunting compared to like Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2.
We'll wait until we
And
get to Adventure 2 to talk about the differences then.
yeah,
Um, we have Amy, who is, what would you say her gameplay type is like?
it's like a slowed down version of Sonic, but you can't really do as much.
Because you're constantly being chased by a robot.
Yeah, and you have to use the hammer like at specific intervals to really get anywhere fast, and I don't like that.
hmm And then
It
we
takes a lot.
also,
You
sorry,
have you have E102 Gamma, which I really do like.
yeah, which shooting, which you don't think is really common for a Sonic game, but it is. At least newer
Yes,
Sonic games. And then
and
we
then
have
of
Big
Big.
the Cat. Do you
Which
like
we have.
fishing? I hope you like fishing because that's
I
all his
hope you.
gameplay is.
I hope you really like Sonic Bass Fishing because yeah, there you go.
Sonic Adventure 3 people, you wanted them to bring Big back? They're bringing him back.
Yes, it's the entire game. You fish.
Yeah, that's the new Sonic game.
Yeah,
Big's Fish Adventure
we have to get Froggy.
by fishing a lot.
I don't like Big.
I like the character, I just don't like the gameplay.
I mean, I like Big as a character, but yeah, not the gameplay. No, I hope they
At least I don't
never.
like his gameplay in Sonic Adventure anyway.
Yeah, his gameplay in another game, which we'll be getting to eventually, yeah, is better, but it's one. It's this for a lot of people. It's the start of the decline of the series.
Hey, I still like it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite level in Sonic Adventure?
I'm gonna have to go with Emerald Coast.
I'm going to have
Emerald
to.
Coast or Ice Cap?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say either Ice Camp or possibly the. What is it called? I remember the music. Um, it's one with the prisoners. You can see the prisoners.
Oh jeez. Oh my gosh,
Red
Red
Mountain.
Mountain. Yep, that's it.
It's either Ice Cap or Red Mountain. It's my favorite.
hmm Then you have like Skydeck, Final Egg, Windy Valley, um, Lost
Skydeck.
World.
I hate Skydeck. I hate Skydeck. I hate Skydeck. I hate Skydeck. Did I mention I hate Skydeck?
I don't like Skydeck as Knuckles.
I hate Skydeck no matter who you play as.
We only play it 3 times, I think. Yeah, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. I'm sorry, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic.
I hated as Sonic, I hated as Knuckles, and I hated as
Well, Tails
Amy.
isn't that bad. Tails is pretty easy. You can finish that in like 30 seconds, if that.
But I just hate Skydeck.
There's another gameplay in this game, and that is Sky Chase. It's okay playing through once, but they make you play through it 4 times.
Which is not fun, especially when you're trying to go for the A ranks.
Yes.
And then you have another gameplay type, which is the you go through Sand Hill, and it's like the
That's the,
ice
yeah,
cap.
snowboarding. Yeah, which that's pretty fun, actually.
I mean, I like it, but when I was going for the A rank for Sand Hill,
Oh yeah, it's hard.
yeah, 'cause it's like the slope detection on the snowboard is really iffy, and you'll end up like skidding out of control, and you'll
Right.
miss the goal markers, or you go to too slow, and your combo will go down. Which for getting an A rank, you need a
Mm.
high combo.
Yeah,
You need like I think you need about like 6,000 points by the time you end to guarantee an A rank.
maybe.
Cause I remember I was doing a Skype call with Connie and them, and I was playing through it. I wasn't even expecting to beat it A rank, and I actually got the A rank, and I just freaked out because it took me so long. I think I
Well,
nearly deafed them that day.
another thing I want to mention is the Chow Garden, the introduction of the Chow Garden, which I love those little guys.
I prefer Sonic Adventure 2 Chow Garden by
As
a
do as do
million miles.
I. But okay, well, we're not actually going straight to Sonic Adventure 2 right now. We have one more game to cover that was came out before that. So, final thoughts on Sonic Adventure before we move on?
It's fun.
Yes, yes, it is.
What more do you have to say about it?
Not really much of anything. So,
It's
it's
fun. The
fun.
story might not be the best, but I think for our first attempt it was decent.
Yeah. Yep. All
But
right.
yeah, that's about it.
So next, then, a game that came out, which I have still have yet to play, and I really, really want to. You, I think you play this, is Sonic Shuffle.
Nope.
Haven't played it
I tried to load it on a Saturn emulator recently, but I can't get the keyboard.
because it came out for Dreamcast, friend.
No, it came out for Saturn.
Dreamcast.
I'm pretty sure it was for Saturn because I had it on a Saturn emulator.
I'm looking at it right now, Dreamcast.
No wonder I couldn't play it then. I was trying to load it on a Saturn emulator.
Sonic Shuffle is a Dreamcast game. That's
It's
why
not
Big
even
the Cat and E102 Gamma are in it.
That's I'm like, why is this not working? Why can't I load it on my Saturn emulator?
Now you
But yeah, I've
know.
never. Now I can tell you what I've heard about the game. I've heard it's like Mario Party, but a lot harder.
Yeah, and there's load times galore in it.
Like, imagine in Mario Party if you get the star, but it's like a mini game on its own to get a star.
Yeah,
That's Sonic Shuffle.
yeah, it's hard, hard.
And the main issue with Sonic Shuffle is Mario Party.
Well, I like Mario Party, but
I mean, I really do want to play Sonic Shuffle if I can get a working Dreamcast emulator, which I've never got a working Dreamcast emulator. But maybe one of these days.
so don't really have much to say about Sonic Shuffle because I haven't played it. So
Me neither.
I really do want to. That's why I wish it would be one of the games that they released for like Dreamcast. I'm sorry,
I
Dreamcast,
wish,
the
I wish it
Xbox
was,
360 or PS3 or
yeah,
something.
or Steam. That would be fun.
Mm. Because Sonic Shuffle was originally slated to have online gameplay, but they scrapped it at the last second.
That would be cool to have like online play with it on like
It would be
Steam.
like Mario Party, but online. You know how fun that would be?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Alright, that's it for Sonic Shuffle. I have nothing else to say about it because I don't know anything else about it.
Same here.
So, the next game then is my favorite game, Sonic game of all time. That is Sonic Adventure 2. Came out for the 10th anniversary of the series. It,
And I had it on the GameCube version, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
same here. Now,
Which,
Sonic Adventure 2 introduced us to Shadow the Hedgehog. I like Shadow.
you mean Emo the Hedgehog?
He's not emo. Well, one game he was emo. The rest, not really.
And they kind of, instead of having 6 types of gameplay, they had 3.
They had 3, but they still had 6 playable characters. But they split
Wasn't
it
there?
up this time. You had Hero and you had Dark. Hero consisted of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Dark consisted of Shadow, newcomer Rouge the Bat, and Dr. Eggman. Yes, you can actually play as Dr. Eggman in this game.
Which that solidified my love for Dr. Eggman entirely because of that. I mean,
Yeah.
before then, you don't really get much about Eggman, and you don't really. He's just a bad guy. That's it. But in Sonic
Mm-hmm.
Adventure 2, you really get more of a personality from him, and I think it's probably his best in terms of what he tries to accomplish.
I will also mention that Sonic Adventure 2 has possibly my favorite story throughout the entire Sonic series.
Now, when Johnny reviewed the game, I think the main problem with it was consistency. There was issues.
There was, well, you're gonna get that with any game, honestly. But I still think the story is still very well written, I think.
I mean, I think it's not a bad plot, but I think Johnny's issue was there was many minor plot holes.
Minor plot holes, nothing big like another game that's coming up. But yeah. Sonic Adventure 2 also the music is awesome. You know, City Escape, Live and Learn.
One of the things I do like is that they have, like, for each character, you really don't go through the same level like 3 or 4 times. Each character
Right.
has their own list of levels. I mean,
Right.
there
I
are
mean,
similar
some
themes,
levels, yeah, like Green Hill, not Green Hill.
like
Well, Green Hill isn't the game, but Green Forest and I
and White Forest.
think it was, or was it White Jungle?
Like, I don't know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Which those are easy to A rank, I must say.
Yeah. That's another thing that was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2 was the ranking system.
Now, when we talked about the ranking system, like having A, but that's just getting medals and such. And here you get ranked for how good you do in the level.
Yeah.
Which comes down to me getting really, 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 really annoyed trying to get the A rank in Meadow Harbor.
Yeah, I've not proud of this, but I've actually gotten all 180 emblems in this game and unlocked the secret level, which is Green Hill, a 3D
I,
version of Green Hill.
one of the things that it's not really Sonic Adventure 2, like, well, I mean, hacking it. Not the actual game, but like hacking it. You can play as Eggman, and there's like
Yeah.
evidence to suggest that at one point they were going to have Eggman without his neck as gameplay other than the Chow Garden.
Yeah.
Because there's actually animations for like him about to fall off of something,
Yeah.
and there's I think there's like animations for him getting hurt.
I think
Or,
so.
yeah, but there's
Maybe.
like evidence to suggest that they're going to have him without his mech at one point,
Yeah.
but then they scrapped the idea.
I think that would
Which
have been cool
there's
for both him and Tails, honestly.
no, I think wasn't it like the added Tails in?
They added Tails, Shadow, and Rouge, I think at the last minute.
Yeah, just
I
so they
think it
can
was
have.
originally just going to be Sonic, Knuckles, and Eggman playable.
Which,
But fan demand wanted Tails, so they added Tails, Shadow, and Rouge.
that's really I don't know how I feel about that, but it's still fun regardless.
Yeah, Shadow's a good character in my opinion, and then we also have Rouge the Bat, which
Mm.
she's Rouge the Bat.
She was good in Sonic Adventure 2, but then they kind of ruined her.
Sonic Heroes, she wasn't bad, and Sonic Battle, she wasn't bad.
But those are games we'll get to in
Yeah.
soon. But I'll have to say one thing. I do not like the final level for Rouge.
Mad Space?
Yes, it drives me mad.
It's Super Mario Galaxy before Galaxy.
Yes, and you have to find the most annoying. It's so big. That's
Yeah.
the first issue. It's big. The
Yes.
second issue is the gravity on the capsule planets and all that are annoying.
Yeah. And the
Because
other
it
issue. Sorry, continue.
and the last issue is the backwards text.
Well, that you just have to pause and read it backwards.
That Sonic Adventure 2 is how it's the game that taught me to read backwards. because you have to read that much backwards. I mean,
Right.
imagine trying to get all the keys without using the help, so you can get a perfect.
Mhm.
No. I mean, one of the things I do remember about Sonic Adventure 2 is back when I played it, it was like 2005, 2006. I mean, I remember staying up past like midnight until like 1 a.m., spending 30 minutes on Mad Space to beat it. And
Yeah.
back then, me staying up into midnight was a really big feat. Whereas nowadays, I stay up into midnight pretty much every night
Well, that
anyways.
that brings up another thing that I don't like about Sonic Adventure 2, despite it being a really good game in my eyes. It's the fact that they nerfed the Emerald Radar compared to Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, because one of the things that they changed is you can't locate all the emeralds at once. I mean, you could accidentally stumble into an
Yeah,
emerald,
which I've
but
done
you're
that
not supposed to.
before.
Yeah, I actually did that in Midspace recently. I got like the second emerald first. It was like,
Like
whoa.
you could still do that, but the fact is they don't tell you. They only tell you where one is at a time, starting
Yeah,
from the very
compare.
first one. Unlike Sonic Adventure, where they showed you were close to one, no matter which one it was, it would light up on the radar.
Which I think is a much better gameplay decision,
I don't know why
especially
they
with the.
changed that.
I mean, it would make more sense for Sonic Adventure 2 to have that style of emerald radar instead of the Sonic Adventure, because Sonic Adventure's treasure hunting levels are generally a lot smaller and more compact, which makes it
Hmm.
really easy to find them. Compared to like Sonic Adventure 2, which there are huge at points,
Hmm.
and I mean, especially when you have a time limit as well, it's rude. Why?
Yes, Security Hall.
The first time I beat that, I was actually coming down to like 5 seconds, and Eggman's
Yeah,
yelling at me like, "You screwed up! Why?
yeah,
Why?" And I
yeah.
got the
Like,
emerald
I'm
at the last.
sorry, it's not my fault.
Yeah, it's like it's not my fault. Wait, I got it.
So another thing I want to mention about Sonic Adventure 2 is the Chow Garden, which is miles better than Sonic Adventure 1.
I
And I
have
really
think
wish they would bring this back.
they have brought back the Chow Garden to a point.
Yeah, Sonic Chronicles doesn't count.
I never did this Chow Garden in Chronicles.
We'll get
Then
to
again,
that.
then again, I don't really like Chronicles to begin with.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep. But yeah, overall, I prefer. If you ask me whether I like Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2 better, it would be really tough because I like some aspects of Sonic Adventure 1 better than Sonic Adventure 2 and vice versa. So it would be
You
really
could just
tough.
say they're tied.
Okay. I mean, I like Sonic Adventure 1's levels better than Sonic Adventure 2, but I like the variety in Sonic Adventure 2 better than Sonic Adventure 1.
Okay. So, final thought on Sonic Adventure 2. I like it. My favorite Sonic game of all time.
It's
And
fun.
yeah, it's fun. That's gonna be your excuse for like all the adventure games which we're ironically done with now.
Yes.
Okay. So, moving on. We're going to
Are
go
we?
through a few handheld games before we go to the next 3D one. So, the next handheld game is Sonic Advance.
Yay! Which I think might be my first Sonic game.
Might.
Might. It's either that or Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2.
Hmm.
Actually, I know I played Sonic Advance before I played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Sonic,
So
I
it
like
ha-
Sonic Advance. I mean, there's another Advance title I like better, but Sonic Advance is still a really, really fun game. It's the most classic of the Advance games.
yeah, I count it as the proper Sonic 4.
Is
But that's just me.
that because there's four playable characters?
Now,
No, but seriously, you have Sonic, you have Tails, you have Knuckles, and you have Amy Rose.
when I first played Sonic Advance, I could never beat the game as Sonic.
Really?
Yeah, I could beat his Tails, and you know why? Because of one
Why?
boss, Ice Mountain.
Oh, right.
because
Yeah.
I couldn't get it onto the platforms
Mm-hmm.
as Sonic the icicles, and therefore I would drown every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can beat it as Sonic now, but
Yeah.
back then I couldn't.
The music's pretty good too.
Yeah, I pretty much remember all the music in the game. Ice Mountain is pretty good as well. I think one of the really cool concepts was Egg Rocket Zone.
Yeah, I liked that. The fact that you're going up the rocket and each get to a certain area and it like launches off and you lose that part that you were just on.
Yeah, 'cause it's the stages of the rocket. If they're,
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And then you end up in space. The special stages were kind of.
I hate the special stages. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them more than I do Sonic 2. And the reason why is
I
because
wouldn't go that far.
of the perspective. You cannot
Yeah.
tell. You can literally cannot tell whether you're gonna get any of the rings or not.
Hmm.
It just, I mean, if it was more 3D-ish, it would just be Sonic 2.
I believe. Now, you can't be supersonic
No, I
inside
don't think.
levels in Sonic Advance, but there is an extra boss at the end that you do become supersonic to beat.
Yes, the Moon Zone,
I think it's the Moon Zone, yeah.
but I've never gotten there because I
It's really
never,
easy. Just putting that
I,
out there.
I have never got any of the emeralds in the game, and I have tried. I just can't.
Okay. Um, Last thing I can say about Sonic Advance is I think it's the first Sonic game to be released on a Nintendo console.
I think so. Yeah, there's
It was
another
either
thing.
this or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle
I
was the
think it
first.
was Sonic Advance because I don't remember Sonic Adventure 2 being out at the time.
Yeah, surprisingly, Sonic Adventure 2 came to the Nintendo GameCube before the first one did.
Hmm. And one fact about Sonic Adventure DX that's about my disc, it's scratched.
Yeah.
I, it's not scratched to the point of unplayability. It's just
Hmm.
scratched to where it's annoying.
All right. Next
But
game.
there's one last thing I want to say about Sonic Advance is the Chow Garden that was in the game.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
actually some of the mini games in it were addicting, but
I love the rock paper scissors game.
yeah, that's the one I played the most.
I think everyone preferred the rock paper scissors over the memory game.
I mean, I
And what
played the
was the
memory game a few times, but the rock paper scissors game I got the most rings out of.
Yeah, you know what? When I first played it, I didn't even realize it was rock paper scissors.
I thought
No,
you
I
had
don't
to
know how
match.
you would. I was just like randomly like hitting like paper with scissors
Mm,
and seeing that it worked. And I was like, oh,
nice.
oh, it's rock paper scissors. I get it now.
Now, one thing, I don't know if it's my card that's messed up, but my Sonic Advance card, you're supposed to, when you collect rings in levels, it's supposed to go to the Chow Garden, but it doesn't do that for me.
Huh? I think it does that for mine.
Yeah, I
Now,
think mine's like messed up or something.
isn't like the only way you can have custom named Chow in Sonic Adventure 2, isn't that by putting it into Sonic Advance and name your Chow there and then
That's Sonic
transferring
Adventure
it?
1. Sonic Adventure 2, you can actually name your Chow in the game, but Sonic Adventure 1, you have to put it in Sonic Advance.
Huh. I don't remember you being able to like custom name your Chow in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, you can. You have to throw it inside the, was it the goodbye chamber, and it'll say name. You can change. No, I'm sorry. Sonic Adventure 2 has the fortune teller.
Yeah, but those are only pre-selected names.
Yes, but if you hit no, that you don't want that name, she'll ask you if you want to name it yourself.
Huh. I don't remember that. Because the only thing I remember is I would transfer mine to Sonic Advance and then yeah, because I actually had the GBA link cable.
I did too. I used it for Animal Crossing a lot. But
And then he went back to Sonic Advance, which I know you could change your
yeah, you
the,
can in there. Which
the
which we didn't bring up. I do like the fact that you can transfer Chow from your GameCube to the GBA. I thought that was cool.
And one thing about Sonic Adventure 2 is I never gave my Chow up.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like you're giving up your only child or something with
I
how
know.
it was.
So speaking of a child, let's segue into the next game. Sonic Advance 2, my least favorite of the Advance games. And I
Same
still have
here.
yet today have beaten it fully. I've beaten it with Cream, which is the new character in the game, but I have never beaten it with anybody else or gotten all the Chaos Emeralds with everybody because I hate the special stages and I hate how you get to the special stages.
Well, it's the same. Isn't it the same thing as Sonic Advance where you have to find those springs?
Nope.
Those were annoying enough
To
as
do
is.
Sonic Advance 2, there are a total of I think it's 5 like star rings in the level. You have to collect every single one in a level to be able to get to the secret stage. And then you
Oh,
actually have to
those.
beat the secret stage.
What
It
is
was
the secret
annoying.
stage?
The secret stage is you're like on this huge square thing with rings around it. It's kind of 3D-ish, and you're being chased by Zero.
Huh.
And you have to collect a certain amount of rings in a certain amount of time.
Now I've never been Sonic Advance 2 myself. I've gotten to the boss rush, but I always die at the bosses.
Just play as Cream. Cream, like, is the best character to play as if you want to beat the game because of cheese.
I think, well, one of the things, I think the seventh boss, the one where you're in that circle,
Yes.
that one always gets to me.
Oh. Well, yeah. Sonic Advance 2 is my least favorite. I don't
The
really like it.
Yeah, it's my least favorite of the three as well.
It
The
has some
reason
nice levels, like Music Plant is actually really cool.
I like the idea for music plant, but it's like the first, it's too much on speed. You
Hmm.
can literally hold right a lot of the times, especially in the first level. You don't even have to barely do anything.
Right.
And then you have the really, really bad level of Sky Canyon,
Yeah.
where they just throw that really bad.
Sonic Advance 2 had a lot of bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Eh.
And you wouldn't think of that at first, because there's like no bottomless pits in the first two or three levels.
Yeah.
But then once they start realizing, oh, bottomless pits, let's put them everywhere.
Now, I like Cream the Rabbit, I'm not gonna lie. I think she's a really fun character to play as in Sonic Advance 2 and 3.
Yep.
I don't really know anything else to say about Advance 2. Definitely
Yeah,
not as bad as like Labyrinth or anything, but still.
Yeah, and then we get to the final advanced game. Well, not the final GBA game, but
Now, it's Sonic Advance 3, which is my favorite Sonic Advance game, and a lot of you are going to hate me for this, but it's also my favorite 2D Sonic game of all time.
boo, boo.
Yes, I like Sonic Advance 3 a lot.
I think it's a good game, but I can't really say I enjoy it. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's more like Sonic Advance in level design, but I'm not really a big fan of the partner system.
I think the partner system adds something to it.
I don't know. I just prefer to play in this one character at a time. That's just me.
I mean, you
And I
have the main Sonic Advance crew, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Cream, and Amy.
Now I can't say I've really gotten like too far in the game. I think I've gotten up to the water level. Is there a water level?
Ocean Base,
I think that's ocean
the
base.
third world.
It was, yeah.
Man, you're missing out on a lot of good levels, like Chaos Angel Zone.
Now I've heard the music for Chaos Angel Zone, and it sounds really good.
It is the first two music tracks for Chaos Angel Zone, because there are 3 acts in the zone this time, are like kind of slowish, but then once you get to the third act, it kind of intenses up, which is cool. The story involves chaos control for some reason, but it actually ties in with the game we're going to be talking about next. But we'll wait.
it's it's doesn't it Emerald?
Yes, it ties in with Emerald, but in this game it's Gmail, which is basically created by the parts of Emerald, basically. That's why it looks so much alike.
Yeah. I
Now, I love Sonic Advance 3. I like the special stages.
I never got the special stages, so I
Well, the
wouldn't
way to
know.
get the stages is you have to find all the Chow in a zone. Then you have to go back to levels and collect a key, and then go to the special stage.
Boring.
I found it fun.
Well, that's you. You're the same person as like Sonic 06, so your
Shh.
opinion is invalid.
Shh. So,
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about Sonic 06 eventually.
yes, yes, we will.
Spoiler.
Not really a spoiler. Um,
Spoiler.
One
Snake
more
kills
thing I want to
Dumbledore.
say about Sonic Advance 3 is, okay, two more things. One, that's possibly my favorite Sonic track, which is one of the ending themes, which is ending B, which I wish somebody would do a remix of that because I've seen no remix.
Why is it just called Ending B? It should be called something more memorable. I don't know,
I don't know. It's called ending B. So
like Dog Farts McGee or something. At
yeah,
least it'd be memorable.
and at the end it shows that Gmail is still alive and friends with Cream the Rabbit, yet we never see him again.
Isn't isn't that where in Sonic Advance 3 where you actually team up with Eggman at the end? I mean, I
Yeah,
know you do.
you actually team up with Eggman at the end, Supersonic and Eggman, and you fight this gigantic version of Gmail, but
That's
he
the
doesn't die. So,
yeah. That's if you get all the stuff. Isn't
but
it the same as the Advance other Advance games?
yeah, you have to get all the Chaos Emeralds to do it.
Yeah, I could never do that.
So, speaking of Gmail, the next game, which is, I guess you consider it the last GBA Sonic game, because I don't really want to talk about the pinball game because it's pinball. But um, Sonic Battle, which is my favorite fighting game for Sonic.
I don't really have much I can say about it because I mean I've played it maybe once or twice, and that's about it. I have the ROM,
Well,
but
I plan on doing a playthrough of it with you and Sakani soon, so you'll see
yay.
it then. But
But
I
from
like
what
the
I
story
remember,
of it.
the gameplay is very repetitive.
I don't think so. I think it's good.
All I remember is when I played it, it was very repetitive,
Well, one,
and
it's a
I
fighting
stopped.
game on the GBA, so it's not going to be like intense.
Well, I mean, why do you have to do the same battle twice, but with just more lives? Why?
Yeah, that I don't get. But
I don't get like once we beat you once, haven't we shown that we're superior to you?
not to Shadow the Hedgehog. Which this is the only GBA game to feature Shadow the Hedgehog as a playable character.
Hmm, that's interesting. For a good reason.
Sonic Battle also brought back E102 Gamma, except in this game he's called Chaos Gamma, and it's the only time he appears again. So I don't know if he's still alive and he's just sitting around in Eggman's base, just going doo 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 doo. I don't know.
Rest in peace, E102 Gamma. You are the best.
And Emerald is my favorite robot character in the series. I don't know why.
I think with hacking you can actually place Eggman in Sonic Battle,
Yeah, you can.
but he's invincible.
Yeah, Eggman's the final boss, and he can be really hard.
But isn't he invincible if you hack to play as him? Or you can be invincible as him?
Maybe? I've
I
never
think
hacked, so I can't really say I've
well,
played as him before.
I think you can just stay up in the sky the entire time to where no one can hit you, and then you
Yeah,
just kind of
I'm pretty
rain
sure.
down destruction from the skies with your own version of WMDs. That's what I've heard, anyways.
So, Emerald, or Emerald, Sonic Battle is a really good fighting game to me, anyway. It has some really good music and a really good
Which actually
story.
which they actually brought back in Sonic Generations, which I find that very interesting.
They did, and they actually remixed
We
it,
missed.
which is cool. Really do like that theme. Yeah, can't really say anything else about Sonic Battle other than I'd give it a try because I think it's really good,
I'll give it a try eventually.
and the story is really good, and some of it's funny.
Okay.
All right, so that's it for the advanced game. So we're going back to.
Aw, we're not gonna do the last TVA game?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yes, we're doing that, but not right now.
Oh. I
So
know you have a lot to say about that game,
I have
Silver.
2 words for that, but I'm not allowed to say those 2 words. Anyway,
Uh,
the next game is Sonic Heroes.
Yay.
I like Sonic Heroes. I mean, it's not as good as Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2, but I don't think it's as bad as some people say.
Now, I originally had Sonic Heroes. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yay. Good commentary, right?
Totally.
But yeah, I originally had Sonic Heroes on the GameCube. But there's a story behind this. I think I told you about this, didn't I? About how the
Good.
game got scratched.
Yeah.
Which I still don't get to this day how it got scratched while staying in the case.
hmm
How does that work?
I have no idea.
And I took this. They kind of refers to it as a toothpaste story.
Right. Yes.
Yes, that story.
Uh,
But yeah. Um, for those who don't know, my friend told me to put toothpaste on the game to get out the scratch.
well, I heard that toothpaste does work.
Well, I've heard it does too, but I think you're supposed to put it on like a paper filter, like a coffee filter.
Right.
And I just put toothpaste on there directly, and guess what ended up happening?
Ugh.
There was a lot of white little splotches on there, and it ruined the disc completely.
Boy.
Now, I actually have Sonic Heroes on the PC.
Yes,
I
it was released
torrented
for the
it.
PC, GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. Which the
But
PlayStation 2 version sucks, so don't get it.
yeah, don't get the PlayStation 2 version. Either get the GameCube version or the PC version.
Or Xbox.
Fair enough. Now, I mean, what is this? I do like Sonic Heroes. I'll say this. But I think some of the levels are way too long for their own good. Like Dino Fortress.
Hang Castle, Mystic Mansion. But
Yeah.
the positives then, the music is awesome.
It's probably the most cartoony of the 3D games besides
Other than colors, yeah.
Colors and Generations.
Yeah,
Of
well,
course,
Generations kind of wasn't as cartoony as colors, but um, Sonic Heroes has possibly the most different gameplay style out of all the Sonics, 3D
yeah,
wise, because you're controlling 3 characters at once. You have speed, flight, and power. You have 4 teams. Team Sonic, which consists of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. Team Dark, which is Shadow, Rouge, and newcomer Omega. You have Team Rose, which is Amy Rose, Cream the Rabbit, and Big the Cat for some reason. And then you have Team Chaotix, which brings back SBO, Vector, and Charmy from Knuckles Chaotix.
and pretty much in terms of gameplay, here's how those 4 teams work. Team Rose, easy mode. Team
Mhm.
Sonic, normal mode. Team Dark, hard mode. Team Chaotix, random.
Team Chaotix, you can guess more as like a mission mode.
Yeah, which I really don't like.
I don't mind some of the missions, but there's a lot. One mission in particular, what was it, Mystic Mansion, where you had to blow out 80 torches, was insane.
Why?
I don't know.
I think there's the frog forest where you can't get detected by enemies.
Yeah,
Ew.
yep, there was that. Um, One thing Sonic Heroes also had was Metal Sonic was the main villain again.
I don't know how I feel about the plot overall.
The
I
plot
mean,
was very meh.
yeah, because I mean, you don't know Metal Sonic's the final boss until the end. The
No,
final.
you see his face sometimes during I think it was Team Sonic's cutscenes and Team Dark's, but you can't really tell it's Metal Sonic because he looks completely different.
Yeah, I mean, you can figure out that possibly there's a villain other than Eggman,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
And
You
one
kind
thing
of,
is to the story is that they brought Shadow back, which he was supposed to stay dead in Sonic Adventure 2, but due to
but due to fan
fans,
service,
yeah, they brought him back.
which I mean, I do like that they eventually explained how he got brought back, but it was very.
To understand that, you have to stay in the final boss of the next game for like 9 minutes.
I never did that because I don't see how you can last that long for that boss. I mean, there's
I've
eventually
done it.
comes to
I
a
wanted to
point.
hear it myself, so I've done it.
I just listened to it on YouTube.
You could do that. But before we move on to that game, any other thoughts on Heroes?
Bingo!
Highway! Oh, and this is the only like 3D game with actual special stages.
Yep, and it's the Sonic 2 special stages, but with a twist.
I like these better than Sonic 2. The controls can be a little better, but
It's pretty much you chase the emerald through the stage, and you collect those balloons, which speed you up. And if
yeah.
you hit the mines, you slow them down. It can be either very easy, or it can be very hard.
Yeah.
And the way you get into the special stages, you have to collect a key, but
And
you have to collect a key without getting hurt throughout the level.
yeah, which some levels can be harder than others. So I suggest you don't have to collect the emeralds with every team, just with one team. So
So I suggest going with Team Rose.
yeah, because their levels are shorter and easier.
Yeah, the main thing with the team-based things is Team Roses has the shorter levels with less enemies, and their team attack. What does it do?
Yeah, each team has a team attack. For Team Rose, when you do the team attack, you get invincibility, you get a shield, you get a speed up, and you also get a level up, which every character can level up 3 times within a level.
And you need the level ups
Yeah, they help you greatly.
because
Um,
unlike most, this is the first game that actually introduced enemies that don't go down in one hit.
yeah, with life bars, unless you're leveled up to like level 3,
In which case, even some
which
enemies
I
still
think
don't
it
go.
works in this game, to be honest.
I mean, I don't mind it, but it's still rather annoying, especially
Yeah.
when you're first playing through the level and you don't have any level ups.
hmm Team
No,
Sonic's Team Blast is Sonic jumps around and destroys enemies. Team Dark's Team Blast is it freezes time for a short period of time,
which
and
that can be more annoying than helpful.
depending on where you are in the level, yeah. And then Team Chaotix is they blast out their enemies' eardrums by singing into them,
Yeah, and then
and you get
one of
a
the
ton of rings by doing it too.
yeah, which makes it pretty much really easy to get A ranks.
Yeah.
Is there also a hard mode?
Yes, after you get all A ranks and all the emblems, you unlock super hard mode, which is you're basically going through super hard mode of each level as Team Sonic, which is harder than Team Dark's. So
What does it do? Is it just like more enemies with Team Dark's stage
there's more
layout?
enemies, but there's also like different layouts and stuff.
So
Like
Bingo
I can
Highway is even
specifically,
harder.
well, yeah, I can
Ugh.
specifically think of there's a Seaside Hill section where you would usually go off a ramp and go through a rainbow ring. In super hard mode, it's changed to you bounce off a spring and you have to light dash across.
Huh. Overall, though, it's a weird gameplay style, but I can say I like it.
Yeah,
Just it's not my favorite.
right. One thing I will say is Sega must really like Seaside Hill because they use it a lot.
Hmm.
All right, so after Sonic Heroes is a game that I like it, but is definitely not Sonic-like, and it is Shadow the Hedgehog.
I I will say 2 words. Meh.
That's one word.
I count that as 2 words. Me and H.
Okay, but Shadow the Hedgehog is a dark attempt at a Sonic game where Shadow the Hedgehog is the main character. You're going through trying to figure out his past. It does play like it plays like Sonic Heroes, but one character. The main difference is you have guns, vehicles, and swearing.
Which swearing to make an edgy game just doesn't work.
Totally, especially when it comes off like this game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like horrible like Johnny says it is, but
It's like the example of swearing. Can I say this once? It's not. It's like damn. Where's the fourth Chaos Emerald? That just doesn't sound. It doesn't
no,
make you sound any better.
it doesn't because it makes it funny, and it's not. They weren't going for funny.
Yeah. I love how that's become a meme. The fourth Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, I know. Because it's funny how in Generations you actually have the fourth Chaos Emerald with Shadow.
Yeah. If that's not on purpose, that has to be a coincidence.
And I'm sure it was on purpose. Even Sega has a sense of humor.
Yeah, they have a sense of. That's one thing that even though their games aren't always the best, they do have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes listen to the fans.
They've been listening to the fans more recently than.
Yeah. I mean, you have. What's her name who did the PR for Sonic 4?
I don't know.
What was her name? But I know Sega knows all about Sonic Retro.
I don't want to talk about Sonic Retro. Anyway.
Yeah, Sonic Retro, we could do our own retrospective on that.
Do a retrospective on Sonic Retrospective. Yeah.
I just want to say one thing about Sonic Retro and its community. They are picky, 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 picky.
Just play the game and like it. You know you're going to buy it anyway, so just play it.
They even make criticisms about the classic games, which generally are really, really good.
Whatever. Moving on. Shadow the Hedgehog.
We were talking about that game?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about the game.
With Shadow the Hedgehog, you had like multiple paths, which I thought was pretty cool. But just the fact that you have to go through 10 endings to get the final story. So basically, you're playing through the first level 10 times.
Yeah.
To beat the game completely.
Which is not fun. I mean, getting all the endings requires you to go through one of the most annoying levels ever. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
You talk about Central City?
No.
Or the one back Flash stage?
Yeah, that level.
You can skip that, technically.
You can, but if you... Ugh, I don't like it.
No, yeah, every level is basically more mission-based. You have 3 missions. Hero, Dark, and Neutral.
It's supposed to be a morality-based system, but
yeah.
you're not really doing it for the morale. You're just doing it for the missions.
Yeah, basically. Each mission either consists of killing a number of enemies, finding a certain number of stuff, or just going to the end.
Which is more fun just to go through the level than get to the end.
Yeah. And then you have Shadow has 2 new abilities in this game besides like weapons and whatnot. He has Chaos Blast, which I think is really fun to use. Basically just destroy everything around you. And then you have Chaos Control, which basically is like, I guess you can call it the boost of this game. Yeah.
But yeah.
The music is meh. I like the Crush 40 songs, and there's a few stage music, but other than that, I can't really remember half of it.
Yeah, I can't remember. The only thing I can remember is the Eggman remix that they used.
Yeah.
And maybe the Blue Falcon,
mm-hmm.
the remix from Sonic Adventure 2.
The stage music I can remember most is West Topless, because I've heard it so many times. Yeah. And Sky Troops. I like that theme. I think that theme is cool. Oh, and what's the level where you're in the Ark and you're like it's like crumbling and you're going from crumbling to crumbling.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember what the name is.
I like the music in that level.
I don't remember the music.
do. It was in All Stars Transformed. The music was. It's played during the Death Egg stage.
Huh.
Okay. Anyway, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Is a meta game.
It's okay. Not the best Sonic game, but I don't think it's horrible.
I, I just, to me, I find the worst offender of a game is it being mediocre rather than just being bad.
I'd rather a game be mediocre than bad, because
I mean, if it's a bad game and a funny bad game, then yeah, I can enjoy some. Yeah, I can have some form of entertainment from it. But if it's mediocre, I can't really give any reason why I like it. It's just like,
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just prefer bad games over mediocre ones.
So then, moving on.
Moving on to a game that can be considered the worst Sonic game
Actually,
of all.
no, that's not next.
Oh. Ah.
We'll be getting to that, but we have 2 more games to cover that came out first, I believe. The next one is Sonic Rush.
Which I've only played once or twice on an emulator.
I think it's really fun. I like Sonic Rush. It introduced us to Blaze the Cat.
Kitty!
It introduced us to the boost aspect that would later be introduced in 3D games, starting with Unleashed.
I played up to the second level.
Water Palace?
Yeah. Which I do like the music for that.
Back to back.
It's back to back, something, something, something.
Back to back, and something, 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 back to back. No, but Sonic Rush is also, I like the soundtrack for Sonic Rush.
I mean, I still have it on my emulator. I could probably play through it if I really wanted to.
You should. It's actually a really good Sonic game. You should give it a full playthrough once.
Yeah. One of these days I'll go through it. It's just not now.
Really the only other thing I can say about Sonic Rush is it's a really good Sonic game. Music's awesome. The graphics are, DS graphics. It's the 3D character model in 2D.
Are we gonna talk about Sonic? Wasn't the concept for Sonic Rush events? Was it Sonic Dash or something?
Oh, the original. No, Sonic Dash is the recently new Sonic game, but
Wasn't
no,
there?
It was just
Wasn't
like
there DS
Sonic DS,
game?
but it was just at an E3 and it was just Sonic running constantly.
Oh.
But that's all we know. We don't know anything else about that.
So it's like the skateboarding Sonic game for the Xbox?
What?
Yeah, there was a Sonic skateboarding game for the Xbox that was a concept, and that was about it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. Sonic Rush, it brings back like Sonic 2 special stages, but they are so much better. So much better. So, there's that. And, yeah, just bringing back Blaze, which is actually a really good character. And that's all I can say about Sonic Rush.
Yeah, that's about all I can say about Sonic Rush as well. It seems like a fun game.
Yes, definitely give it a try. The next game before we get onto the game which I've been waiting for is Sonic Riders.
Aw.
I like Sonic Riders. The first one's actually pretty good.
I thought you were going on to Sonic Rush Adventure, which I can't really say anything about.
Not yet. We'll be getting to that, but not yet.
Sonic Riders I actually really like.
Yeah. I think Sonic Riders is a good game.
I think it's the best of the 3 Riders games.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I just
had some of the characters from the newer ones.
But you want to know why Sonic Riders sucks? Because the rock textures in one of the levels was bad.
Oh my gosh, stop. You're not Ted.
That's the exact reason why the game sucks, because the rock texture was... What was the exact argument?
I don't even know. I don't know. But
the rock texture was bad in a game about a game that goes fast.
Now, Sonic Riders, I will say, does have a learning curve, but it's still a really fun game.
Sonic Riders gave me a blister first time I played it.
Yeah, you do have a lot of control stick spinning.
Yeah, which, if you have a GameCube controller that doesn't have the padding on it like I do, Ugh, that hurt my thumb so much.
Yeah.
But once you get used to the game's learning curve, then you're actually really good at it.
Yeah, the
Decently.
story was, well, it wasn't that great of a story. They had a lot of humorous moments in
I like one of the most bullshit moments was at the beginning where Sonic could easily
it.
outrun Jet.
Oh, he just wanted to give him a chance by going on the airboard, which this, as you can guess, this is an airboard racing game.
Well, I just wanted like that one animation where like after Sonic gets knocked out the board and Jet's like spouts out stuff and Sonic just gets up and flips the middle finger at him, just goes
Yeah,
forward.
that won't happen in a Sonic.
I really wanted that to happen.
But Sonic Riders, fun game.
If you're really bored and you want to waste about 2 hours, play a 99 lap race on there and see
Oh,
how many times
jeez,
you can.
I've done that before.
So have I with Shadow on the air
Mm,
skates,
yeah.
and I ended
Um.
up lapping the racers like 13 times.
hmm Sonic Riders. It does introduce three new characters. You know, the Babylon Rogues, Jet, Wave, and Storm.
I really don't like them.
I
And then
like
you have.
I like Jet. Jet has actually appeared in other games with side riders, unlike Wave and Storm have. But yeah,
I thought Wave and Storm appeared as cameos at one point in some games.
not outside of the Rider series. Maybe as like a sticker, Brawl or something. But as far as like either playable or an actual character appearance, it's mostly been Jet.
Hmm. But yeah, the one thing I'll have to say about like the story mode, then you have the final. You actually have a boss,
Yeah,
which was a really really stupid concept.
weird. I mean, it was
A
easy, but
boss.
it's weird.
Yeah, because you're like in that void area, and you just
Yeah,
all you have to do is just boost up to the lamp like 3 times, and then it's
mm,
over, which can be really annoying if you miss.
I will say I was very hyped for Sonic Riders. I remember checking the website each day to see what character would be confirmed. And once Shadow was confirmed, I was like, "Yay, Shadow!"
I play as. Can you play as Eggman?
Yes.
Yeah, I love Eggman at that point, so I was like, I wanted to play as Eggman all the time.
Yes, you could play as Eggman. And then you had three guest characters. It was Knights, Amigo. Oh, what was the other person? Or was it just Knights and Amigo?
It might have been just Knights and Amigo.
I thought there
You
was
have
another guest character, but okay.
what I remember about Riders was when I was trying to create my first website, I used free webs, and I used try to make information about Riders,
Nice.
including like videos and everything else.
hmm
Let's just say that didn't really go that far.
Yeah. So, final thought for Sonic Riders. I think it's a really fun game and probably the best in the series. Sonic Riders series, I mean.
Yeah,
Now,
it's not the best right. It's not the best racing game. We all know what the best racing games are, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, we're not going to go on to other Riders games just yet. We're going on to this game. I don't really.
Yeah.
I've mentioned so many times my thoughts on this game, so I'm just gonna sum it up in just a few words and let Q do the rest of the talking. This is Sonic 06. Is the next game in the series. My thoughts for this is I don't hate it like everybody else does, but I do agree it could have been so much better. But I still have my fun with it. There.
I for Sonic 06, it was a very, very, very rushed game.
Yeah.
It's one of the most rushed games in the entire series, if not the most rushed series. I compare it to like Superman 64 in terms of how much it probably was actually completed. Like, if
All
you
the
actually
stuff
list,
that they were going to put into it, I wish they could have.
yeah, because like there's obvious things that show that it was in beta still, if not alpha, because
No,
of
it was beta.
yeah, it's beta because how there's stuff that wasn't done, like the chaos powers, the those are completely broken.
Hmm.
The loading times, because what the game does is it literally loads and then deloads and then loads everything at
Yeah,
once.
yeah,
And that's why the loading times are so long, because
yeah.
it's it's pretty much a debug feature that they did so they could test out stuff,
Hmm.
make sure the levels loaded correctly, but they never got a chance to take that out. I mean,
Nope.
I agree
There have
that it
there
would
have
probably
been.
would have still.
Go ahead.
I mean, one of the even when you say, "Oh, it was a rush game," people are coming back. It's like, well, it still probably would have sucked either way.
I don't think so. Story wise, maybe yes, but
Yeah, story
gameplay wise, I
wise,
think it could have been really good.
I think it was their attempt to go back to Sonic Adventure style.
It basically is a Sonic Adventure game if you look at it, the way it's set up.
Except, well, it wasn't that great.
I still like it. It's not my favorite game in the series. Definitely could have been better.
I can have my fun with it. That's all I will say about it.
And also to introduce me to my favorite character, Silver. But that's
The pothead.
no you. I will
It's
say
no
this:
use.
Sonic 06 has awesome music.
It's no use. Smoke weed.
Yeah, Sonic 06 has an amazing soundtrack.
Yes, I love the soundtrack in Sonic 06. Also,
Anything else?
Bubble. Because apparently that's the main reason why Sonic 06 sucks, is because of the billiard puzzle. People always bring that up. The
Oh, you can
billiard.
just glitch through the door.
Try doing it the proper way.
I don't think I have ever since I had the game because I knew about it ahead of time. So I was just like, I'm just gonna glitch through the door. I don't feel like bothering with it.
If I ever get Sonic 06 properly, because I've played it, but I've only rented it.
Do you realize that that's the next Sonic game we're doing, right?
But,
Sonic 06.
oh. I can't wait.
Gonna be fun.
Yay.
All right. Final thoughts for you on 06.
It's it's a very mixed bag.
Yeah. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it out to be, though.
And Silver's opinion's been invalidated.
Not now,
Okay.
because the next game we're gonna talk about is is yeah.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
I have two words for this game, and I'm not allowed to say them. But this game is Sonic Genesis.
It's Silver's favorite game of all time.
Grrr. No, I hate this worse than Sonic Labyrinth.
Oh, Sonic Genesis, Sonic Genesis, Sonic Genesis. Oh, I love it so much. I love it like a hemorrhoid.
Ew.
But yeah,
Ow.
Sonic Genesis is an attempt. Keyword attempt at porting Sonic 1, which is considered a great game, for the GBA.
Uh,
And it's horrendous. I know
long
I'm
story
sounding like
short, music's bad. Lag. Screen crunch. Sonic is very weird control-wise.
the physics suck, the sound
Yeah.
sucks, the music sucks, everything about the game sucks. And I've had the unfortunate pleasure of playing through it.
Yeah, I commented on that too, so whenever that goes up, feel free to watch it.
Yeah. Overall, is you should not play it. You should play Sonic 1 for the Genesis and have a
Mhm.
much better time than literally feel like you're being tortured playing Sonic Genesis.
Yes.
Because when I played through it, I think I saw a religious moment. I was shouting at God, telling him why this exist, and I'm not even a religious person.
Sonic Genesis, I think, came out the same time as 06.
Yeah, it's like Sonic 06 sucks. Let's go to Sonic Genesis and see if it's even
Have to admit,
worse.
you would play 06 over Genesis.
Yes, I will play 06 any day over Genesis. I will play Labyrinth over Genesis. And that's saying a whole lot.
I don't want to. I'm getting a headache just from talking about it. So let's move on, shall we? I hate the
Okay.
game. That's my final thought.
My final thought on it is, yeah.
Okay.
There, that's all I can say about it.
All right. The next game came out. Actually, no, that's not right. The next game that came out is Sonic Rivals.
Never played it.
I've played it just recently, actually. The second one is better, but it's actually not that bad of a game. It is glitchy, but I mean not like '06 glitchy.
Now,
Still,
I've heard that Rivals was supposed to start off as a platforming game.
yes, and it is to an extent. It's 2.5D. It's all 2D gameplay.
But
Basically,
Sega decided to make it a racing game.
yeah, but I think it works. Well, more so on Sonic Rivals 2, but for the basically the concept is you have one of four characters. You have Sonic, Knuckles, Shadow, and Silver. You pick one character and you go through a story mode or just a race in general, and you have to race that rival to the end by either hitting them with power-ups, just knocking them out with your homing attack and everything, and just race to the end.
See, I can already see how Silver defeats his enemies. He doesn't even race them. He sets them down. He gives them a joint and goes, "Here you go. Be high and
Honestly,
imagine that you're in a
Silver has one of the
race."
best attacks in the game because each character has a special move. Silver, what he does is he confuses the controls of the other character for a little while, so that's really cool. Sonic has like
Oh,
a speed boost, Shadow slows people down, and Knuckles just like slams the ground and makes the people hurt or whatever.
I like my idea better that he doesn't even race them. He just sets them down and makes them pretend like they're in a race while they're really just high. That's just me, though.
Yeah, well. I think Sonic Rivals, it's not the best game, not like the best 2D Sonic game, but I think it's still good. You know, you have like a lot to unlock. You have all 150 cards to unlock and everything. Um,
I don't like cards ever since playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of
it's not
Memories.
that kind of cards.
Oh.
You don't
Because
use
if
the
it's
cards for anything. They're just used to collect, basically.
Because I was like, it's a chain of memories, and I have really, really bad memories for chain of memories.
That's ironic.
Let's just say I don't like chain of memories.
Yeah, that's my least favorite Kingdom Hearts. I like it. I don't like it as. I like Days more than Chain of Memories. Anyway, this is not a Kingdom Hearts retrospective.
Oh.
Next is Sonic Rivals 2. I want to talk about just real quick. It's better
Sonic
than
Rivals 2, Rivals Harder.
um. Okay, it's better than the first one. It definitely has a lot more characters. You have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, SBO, Shadow, Silver, and Metal Sonic, all as playable characters.
I thought you were going to go like classic Amy, modern Amy.
No, surprisingly, Amy is not in Sonic Rivals 2 at all,
Wow.
which is weird.
You would think Amy would be in.
Amy was in the first one, but she wasn't in this one.
Amy quit.
I
She
guess.
didn't want to race.
No, but
I
definitely
get.
because
I
of all
guess
the.
Silver got her so high that she forgot that she was in Rivals 2.
Mm-hmm.
You should
Well,
know. You are Silver after all. You are the pothead.
oh shush.
Silver Fast
Um,
Tracks.
yeah, Sonic Rivals 2 is awesome.
When you pause it for a second, I was clenching my balls.
Okay.
It's anticipation of like
Rivals 2 is
Sonic.
awesome. Not. I'm sorry. No, it's not. What am I thinking? Ah. It's a good game, but it's not the best game in the series.
Silver doesn't
Shh.
think.
Okay. Anyway, moving on from Sonic Rush, we have Sonic Rush Adventure.
Which I have never played, but I've heard the Plant Kingdom music
Plant Kingdom. Yeah.
and the final boss music, including the different version of it. I don't understand how that works. Is it like the is it two different versions of the boss theme, or is it like a
Yeah, there's like a
hints?
yeah, there's like how do I explain this?
There's a it's like
There's
a
like normal version of it, and then once you get close to beating him, it becomes faster and more intense.
so
So
it's like a pinch
yeah, basically.
so it's like a pinch mode.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sonic Rush Adventure, I don't think it's as good as the first Rush game, but it's still not a bad game. There's one flaw that it has, and that's you need to collect materials to upgrade your vehicles and stuff, which can get very tedious because in order to get materials, it's based off your rank on a level. So if you're not that good at the game, you're going to be playing levels over and over and over again.
That does not sound fun.
Um, it introduced us to Marine, the raccoon, which is our only appearance besides the mention in Colors DS. But yeah, Sonic Rush Adventure, fun game, okay soundtrack. Yeah, I'd say give it a try at least.
Hmm.
All right. So back to console Sonic games. Next one is Secret Rings.
Yay, secret rings.
I've actually just been playing this recently. Um, definitely takes getting used to. It's definitely not horrible. And out of all, it came out in 2007. So at that point in time, it was probably one of the best Sonic games out.
Hmm.
Basically, it's one of the storybook series. You're going through the Book of the Arabian Nights, which somehow has a jungle with dinosaurs. I don't remember that in the Arabian Nights. Okay.
I remember that.
Okay. And it was originally called Sonic Wildfire. So I wish they would have kept that name because I like it.
It wouldn't have made any sense.
I think it would have, but okay.
I do like Sonic Secret Rings personally. I think it's a fun game. Like when you first play through it, you're going so slow that it doesn't really feel like a fast game, but eventually once you get all leveled up and such, it's actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I think the controls aren't bad.
It just takes some getting used to. Um, the music I think is really good.
Yeah, I do like the music, especially what's the final level in the game called?
Night Palace.
Yeah, Night Palace.
The
I
music
really
was Unawakening Float.
like a lot of people misinterpret the lyrics of one part as like mustard float away. When it's really must they float away.
Yeah.
And then you have the final boss theme.
Seven Rings in Hand.
Oh, not the final boss, the Razor Din.
Razor Jin. Yeah. It
Yeah.
has come to this, I think is what it's called. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
you have like the Evil Foundry music. Who's gonna rock the place? Place, place.
Silver isn't. He's too hot to.
Um, Sonic and the Secret Rings also has a party mode, which is basically a bunch of Mario Party type mini games. Some of them are okay, some of them are very gimmicky in terms of the Wii remote and can be very finicky. So, but it's still a fun time. And the
I'm
voice
giving
acting by
myself a
Jason
quick
Griffith,
blast.
I think, is really good in this game.
Rest in peace, Jason Griffith. I mean, no wait, he's not dead.
He's not dead, he's just not voicing Sonic anymore. So, Sonic and the Secret Rings, I think it was the best game out at the time.
Yeah, which isn't saying much.
Isn't saying much, but I don't think it's a bad game at all. So,
No, I don't think it's a bad game. I just think we had a slew of bad games, so it's like
yeah. And it just got caught up in that mix, so it makes it have that stench, kind of, if you will, of bad games.
yeah. We didn't even mention the controls. You know that?
It's basically Wii remote control. You're
Now,
basically
unlike
tilting
most,
side to side.
yeah, you don't really control Sonic's movement
It's
except
on
for like that.
rails. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on rails. which is very weird for a Sonic game, but I guess it makes sense.
I mean, I can see it with a Sonic game because Sonic is basically supposed to be running fast. And I think it works for this game, but if it was in every single game ever, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
And I think the controls were tightened up a bit in the next Storybook series game, but we'll get to that shortly, but not yet. Alright, so next in the list is... Now this we're just going to tackle the whole series all as one, so it's the Mario and Sonic series.
Meh.
The first one was fun. You know, had nothing special to it.
Literally, all I have to say about the series is meh.
Okay, then I'll say something. The first one I got, which was basically huge for everybody because Mario and Sonic in a game together. And it sold a lot.
LSD. Oh, go on.
The Winter Olympic Games, I like the DS version because it actually has a story mode, which is pretty cool. Then you have the recent London 2012 Olympic Games, which I haven't really played that much. I have both versions of it. I haven't played the Wii version that much. I've played the 3DS version only for the story mode. But that's it. I think they're fun games to play with other people, but when you're by yourself, like Q said, meh. I'm still waiting for my Mario and Sonic platformer.
Meh.
Okay, that's it for the Mario and Sonic series. The next game is Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
Personally, I think it's my least favorite Riders game, but
it sucks.
It doesn't completely suck. It's just
it ruined everything that made Riders fun and just made it more tedious, not fun.
I will say I like some of the music and I like some of the new characters they brought into it, but other than that,
boo.
Yeah, it's Riders game with gravity gimmicks, so
and it sucks.
I guess I'll just take this point to mention Sonic Free Riders. It's third and last. I don't know if they'll make another Riders game, but right now the last Riders game. It only came out for the Xbox 360, but for the Kinect. I do not have the Kinect anymore, but I did, and I did play Free Riders. I think it's better than Zero Gravity once you get used to it, but it does take getting used to.
Yes, with the overpriced camera.
Yeah. The graphics were nice. It was cool to have a HD Sonic Riders game. And the controls, it basically was like Sonic Riders 1, but you don't have a controller, you're using yourself.
If I was playing the game, I'd just crawl up on the floor and in the fetal position the entire time.
It definitely gave you a workout, I gave you that much.
But like video games are not supposed to give me workouts. They're supposed to.
I know.
The only things that are supposed to give me workout are my thumbs.
I think if Free Riders was able to use control sticks like a controller, it probably would have been the best Riders game. But, whatever.
Yeah, if it had the control stick, I probably would have played it.
That's all I can say about that. That finishes up the Riders series.
Did the Free Riders game have any story?
Yes, it did. And it actually involved more than just Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Jet, Wave, and Storm. It actually had, Cream, it had Amy, it had Shadow, and it had Metal Sonic.
No Silver?
No, Silver was playable, but he wasn't in the story.
What about Eggman?
Eggman was in the story, yeah.
Well, of course Eggman was in the story. Why wouldn't he be in the story?
He wasn't the main villain. Metal Sonic was.
Did he get tricked by his own creation again?
Sorta, but Metal Sonic was kind of disguised. So.
That's just not fun.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The next game, I just want to mention this game, and that's Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Only because Sonic would hit it.
Brawl is fun. I prefer Melee.
I prefer Brawl.
I prefer Melee.
I hope they keep Sonic in the new Smash Brothers.
Yes, I hope they do as well.
I'm sure they
But
will. I mean, all the fan demand for them.
he was supposed to be in Melee, but nope.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
Brawl,
It's
fun
a good
game.
game. Awesome game. Move on to actual Sonic games now. So the next game in the series to mention is one last game before we go back to the main series. And you don't like this game.
I don't.
Nope. Trying to find it here in the book. It's Sonic Chronicles.
Boo.
Yes,
Ugh.
Sonic Chronicles, the first RPG, and as of right now, only RPG.
And it's
Sonic
a
series.
good thing it was the only RPG, because it sucked. It was mediocre, and like I said, I don't like mediocre games as much as I like bad games. That's why I prefer Sonic 06 over Chronicles.
I haven't played Chronicles recently, but when I first played it, I had fun. And
When I
after I
first,
beat it, I didn't really have a chance. Like, I didn't really want to go back and play it.
I mean, I played it on emulator, so that's one of the big problems with it at first. I was playing on emulator, but I still didn't have fun.
Hmm.
The first main problem with the game is the gameplay itself. Just it's it's not balanced. Let's just say that. You can easily use a certain combination just to break the game.
Hmm.
And it's very, very tedious because you have the team attacks, the special
Yeah.
attacks, which play like, Osu games almost. And I don't want that in a Sonic game or in an
Yeah.
RPG in general. I just want to perform the special attack, and that's it.
Hmm.
And I don't like the whole running away system as well. It just makes the battle that much longer.
It really does.
It
Uh,
should just be a random chance of running away and a random chance of the enemy blocking your path, and that's it.
I like. I don't want to say I like Sonic Chronicles, but I don't hate it. I think
And
it ended on a cliffhanger. I think if they would have made a sequel, which I don't think they will at this point, I think it
no,
would have
because I
been.
don't think BioWare has the rights to it anymore.
I think it would have been okay.
Another main issue, which I never thought I would say in a Sonic game, was that the music was horrible.
Yeah, the music was really bad.
There's like only maybe one, if not two tracks that are anywhere decent.
Mhm.
I think that's one of the battle themes and maybe the boss theme,
For me, it was one of the battle themes and then the opening theme.
but that's about it. I
Yeah,
don't like the
and
problem with
even
it
then,
is
those
like,
songs were only like 30 seconds long anyway.
yeah, it's like Sonic Force soundtrack.
Although I prefer Sonic 4 soundtrack.
Yeah, theme.
I prefer
But
Sonic 4 period, I think.
the only really good thing about the game, I would say, is possibly the dialogue, because the dialogue can be pretty witty if you choose the
Yeah,
witty
yeah.
dialogue options.
Hmm.
But other than that, no. I do like you can play as Eggman.
Only for a little bit.
Yeah, for only for a little bit. But I still like the fact.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Eggman was actually pretty good in the game.
He had a really good special attack.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's been like 3 hours. Q, we need to get moving. All right.
You mean you
Next,
have had fun with this?
I do. I'm just saying you're gonna have to cut this down a little bit into a few parts.
Oh well, you'll get
Yeah.
over it.
Yes. So Sonic
Okay.
Chronicles, meh to me.
Yeah. Meh.
The next game, which is a main series game, is Sonic Unleashed. I was about to go
With
off to reach for the stars there, and I was like, oh wait, wrong game. Yes, Sonic Unleashed was the next 3D game after '06,
and
and
there's two versions of the game which I'll sum up in how I feel about it. On the Wii and PS2 versions, meh. The HD versions, good.
Wii version sucks. There. HD
Yep.
version, on the other hand, I think is really cool. It basically takes Sonic and puts gameplay-wise day stages, because there is day and night stages. We'll get to night stages later. Day stages are Sonic running fast, like you should be. While the controls aren't like perfect compared to like Colors and Generations, they were still good.
Yeah, I really do like the day stages. I think my favorite one is still the Empire.
Empire City.
Yeah, that's my favorite stage. I just
My
love the
favorite
level.
one was Cool Edge.
My least favorite stage is Abatos.
Well, it's the
Uh,
first stage, so there really wasn't much.
no, not that. I meant the jungle stage.
Oh, Adabat?
Yeah, I always get Abatos and Adabat mixed up. Adabat just has some annoying level design. I just don't like it. It's way too long for its own good. But there's a level even longer than that.
Eggman Land. Ugh.
I hate Eggman Land. I
I
will
don't
repeat,
like Eggman Land
I
either.
hate
It took
Eggman
me
Land.
it took me 58 minutes to complete it,
It
remember?
took me 64 minutes, and I
Boy,
nearly gamed over at the last section.
boy.
I was about to rage.
Yeah, that is a really, really bad level.
It's badly designed. I don't like the the collisions on the pipes. I
Mm,
don't like the parts with the board, the whatever they're called. You know what I'm
the
talking about,
roller
right?
coaster thing?
Yeah, the roller
Yeah.
coaster, because you can easily fall off of it.
Yes. Now, one thing I will mention here is, um, those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody does who's watching this, because if you made it this far into the thing, you should know what we're talking about. Is there's day stages, which is what we just talked about, Sonic running fast, and then you have the night stages where Sonic is a werehog, and it's basically a platformer slash beat 'em up.
Which I like the platformer aspect of it.
I like the
Not
platform.
the beat.
I
I
don't
don't
mind
like
the
the
beat 'em up.
beat.
At least I don't mind the beat 'em up in the HD version.
Yeah, the Wii version is just so stupid.
Yeah. Less we talk about that, the better. Just go watch our playthrough of it.
Yeah, just go watch our playthrough of it, and you'll know why we don't like it.
Yeah. Um, I like the story to it. I mean, it's not the
Yeah,
best story in the series, but it definitely
that's
got
about.
away from the dark aspect of Shadow in '06.
Mhm. And I mean, Eggman wasn't in his best, in my opinion. I still think Sonic Adventure 2 was his best, but I mean, he
No,
did
but
do decently
Eggman
until
did
the.
decently, and he had some comic relief to him.
I still want to know how he ate that sandwich in like 3 bites.
Don't question it. It's Eggman.
But
And it
he
introduced us to Orbot, which is funny.
Orbot, and then the next game had Cubot.
Yeah, but we'll get to those two later. So, Sonic
Yeah,
Unleashed, I think definitely a really good 3D Sonic game. Not the best, again, but
but
yeah, at the time it was definitely a nice,
it was a
fresh
nice.
experience compared to
Yeah,
what we were having. So that's my final thoughts. You?
yeah, it was a good refresher. Because I remember when the first trailer for it was shown,
Mhm.
that they throw the golden ring in the air in the end. The
Oh yeah,
werehog smashes it into the
everybody was like,
wall.
"What in the world is this?"
Yeah, everyone was like, "What? What?"
Of course, this game also divided a lot of people because of the day and night stages, but
Yeah,
they can
but
get over it.
they can suck my wiener.
Right. All right. The next game in the series is the next storybook game, in which that is Sonic and the Black Knight.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
You don't like Black Knight?
I'll just let you explain what Black Knight is.
Black Knight is a sequel to Sonic and the Secret Rings. The gameplay is sort of the same. I mean, it's not completely on rails. You're actually controlling Sonic through the control stick this time, so you have free movement. Um, but the main difference here is Sonic is actually wielding a sword. Yeah, Sonic wielding a sword. It's actually not that bad. Um, takes some getting
Guns,
used to, but it's very waggly.
guns.
What?
Guns. Oh, sorry. Thought we were talking about Shadow for a second there.
No, but Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic's wielding a sword. Basically, he's going through the time of King Arthur. You're fighting like Lancelot, which is actually Shadow, Gawain, which is Knuckles, and Percival, which is Blaze. You actually can actually play as those characters if you want. You don't have to. I think the voice acting's one of the best in this game. I like it more than Sigurd Rings, but I don't like it as much as, say, Colors or Generations.
I have no opinion on the game because I haven't played it. Nor do I want to play it.
I think you should give it a try. If you like Secret
I
Rings, you should give it a try.
I will only give it a try if I get the game for free.
Well then. But yeah, also a lot of the bosses are insanely easy too. And the music is awesome. I mean, you have Crush 40 coming back finally to do a main theme, which is one of my favorite Crush 40 songs. So, yeah, that's it for Black Knight. It's better than Secret Rings. So, yeah.
Interest.
The next game on my list is All Stars Racing, the first one.
I played the demo, and that's about it.
Okay. All Stars Racing was actually a really good game
Good.
compared to Mario Kart. I actually like it a little more than Mario Kart.
I prefer Mario Kart DS.
But recently, All Stars Racing Transformed just came out, and that completely beat the first All Stars Racing.
Yes. All
So
Stars Racing Transformed is excellent.
it
My
really
only
is
complaint that I have about it is why did they put Danica Patrick in the game?
because she's a really famous race car driver, and they needed to have some kind of something.
The
And she was
only
funding
reason
it.
why, no, I'm not gonna. It's gonna sound sexist, and it is the only reason why she is famous because she's a woman. That is the only reason. You
Okay.
cannot tell me there is. You can't tell me there's another reason why. I don't remember hearing her like actually being a good race car driver.
Well, she
All I
just
know is
won something, a national something. She came in third or something,
she came in like eighth.
which is apparently the best a girl has ever done in racing. So
It's eighth place though.
I don't know. Don't
She
ask
is
me. I'm not
only
part of the marketing.
she is only famous because she is a woman. I don't care what you say. She is only famous because she's a woman.
Regardless, All Stars Racing Transformed is an awesome game. I will mention the 3DS version because I have it. I don't know what went wrong with the 3DS version, to be honest.
And why is there Wreck-It Ralph? I don't.
Okay, I understand Wreck-It Ralph because Sonic made a huge cameo in the movie. So,
Which I do like Wreck-It Ralph. I actually really like Wreck-It Ralph.
so I think it's cool that they have Wreck-It Ralph in there.
I played Wreck-It Ralph, but he's just too slow for my own good.
Well, you
I
need
don't
to
like
level
this.
him up, dude.
Well, I don't want to do the level up system. I don't like the level up system.
I like it. But yeah,
I mean,
3DS version, I don't know what went wrong. It's very, the frame rate is all over the place, and for some reason the boat is very glitchy. Like sometimes I'll be racing and the next thing I know I'm pointing straight up and straight down and I'm not moving forward. And I have no idea what I did.
see, when he said you don't know what wrong, you have to say it like this. I just don't know what went wrong.
Yeah. So Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform, both of them actually are really great games, but I would recommend Transformed over the first one.
Yes, I would recommend Transformer the first one. And if you
Here's
have
hoping
Wii
for
U, I'll
DLC in the future.
yes, because I want I want all sorts of characters and I want all sorts of tracks.
Yes, I want Big the Cat back. No, I'm joking.
I want Big the Cat. I legitimately want Big the Cat.
Yeah, he was one I was wondering why they took him out. Him and Ryu from Shenmue.
I don't know yet. They reduced Rystar to what was Knight's
Flagman.
position?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
which
Knights
was
is
Knight's
playable
position.
now, so
Yeah, that makes no sense. Why don't you just have Rystar and Knights playable?
because I need a Flagman. Oh,
Why don't you just use some generic flagman then?
because it's Sega. Alright. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on up.
The next game, we're getting close to the end of this. Next game is Sonic Colors.
Which I don't like.
You don't like Colors?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Shocker.
Yes, I know it's a shocker considering that Colors is probably a better game than Unleashed. But
Yeah,
I don't like the controls.
but the controls are better than Unleashed.
They don't. They feel. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like them.
Well, for me, Sonic Colors I think is better than Unleashed. I like it a little more than Generations, and I
I know
think
so. I
for
know
me it
someone who
has my
hates
favorite
Generations.
soundtrack. What?
I know someone who hates Generations with a passion.
Anyway,
You know this person too,
anyway, um,
and it's your mom.
well then. Yes, I think Sonic Colors has one of the best soundtracks in the series. That's my opinion.
I mean, I like the level design. I just wish there was more actually 3D platforming in the game.
Yeah, it's more of a 2D game than 3D. I do like the wisps. I think that that's a gimmick that actually works without hindering the gameplay.
I have one word to say about the Wisps. Rocket!
Laser, spike,
Ultimate colors!
ultimate color blaster, unlimited colors. Yeah, the announcer is funny. I will say this, the Eggman announcements
Unlimited
are
colors.
awesome.
The only problem with that is you don't hear them most of the time because
Then look them up
they're
on YouTube because
realistic.
they're awesome. They're funny.
I've listened to them, but I mean, in terms of in the game,
Yeah, you can
they
barely
actually
hear
do the
them.
realistic thing where you can barely hear them,
Yeah,
which I don't think that's a good idea.
but it's still
They
funny
should
that
just
they're
make,
there.
yeah.
I want to
Also, I
mention
have to say, unlimited color sounds like a drug trip.
maybe that's what this game is. I don't know. Anyway,
Colors is a drug trip.
one thing I want to mention about Colors is the DS version of Color, which is basically Sonic Rush 3.
Well, yeah, that's to be expected though.
So if you want a Sonic Rush 3, play Sonic Colors DS. It's actually not that bad of a game either. So, anything else to say about Colors? It has one of my favorite vocal songs in the series.
Yeah, reach for the stars on acid.
Actually, Speak with Your Heart.
Oh. Oh, there's one more game that I want to mention before we go on the generations.
What's that?
Sonic Point EXE.
No, not that. No. Let Johnny play through that. No.
You don't want to?
No. No, let's just move on to Generations, because that's the next.
No, let's talk about Sonic Point EXE.
No.
It's a Sonic game, right?
No, it's a fan game.
Oh. It's a bad fan game.
Yes, let's
If
move
if
on to a
it's
good game, shall we? Sonic Generations. Came out for the 20th anniversary. Awkward silence.
nope, my brain broke.
I'm sorry. Sonic Generations. We'll start off with the HD version first. I love Sonic
Yes.
Generations.
I love Sonic Generations. I was so hyped with this game.
Yes. I'm still bummed that the USA didn't get the collector's edition though.
I know. I mean, I remember watching Scottish Duck get the collector's edition and doing the
Hmm.
unboxing video, and I was just, why didn't we get it?
I don't know.
I want it.
Yeah, Sonic
Like,
Generations mixing both modern and classic Sonic gameplay styles. Love it. Going
in
through
the
what?
classic stages actually being somewhat like the classic games.
Yes.
What a concept!
Awesome. Plus I did the modern levels actually had a better mix of 2D and 3D than Colors did, which is awesome.
I
Um,
mean, literally the only complaint that I have about the classic style is the momentum.
okay, yeah.
Mostly when rolling, because like you don't even get
Hmm.
any momentum when rolling. They
Hmm.
did that to put more preference to the spin dash, which is
Yeah.
overpowered as all hell. And
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you can like skip a good portion of the stage if you do a correct timed spin dash.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But I
And
love the fact that you have remixes of both old stages, new stages. I personally, for like games like Sonic Heroes, I would have picked a different stage than what they picked.
I would have picked Bingo Highway.
But still, but it's still Seaside Hill was still a fun level to play through. So
Well, the reason why they picked these levels because apparently there's a poll.
there was a poll, and the fans picked the favorite levels. Yes.
If we should, they could have told us that like, oh, we're possibly using these levels in a future Sonic game,
No, because that would have given it away.
or or maybe just saying we're gonna possibly use this stuff in the future for something.
Maybe,
Not
but maybe at
not
that
get
point in time they didn't use Seaside Hill like a bunch of times. But
I don't know, but yeah.
anyway,
I think I think my biggest complaint about Generations though is the final boss
yeah, the final. I don't like the final boss, at least not in the HD version. Leck.
and the story. I have to say the story is very lacking compared to
I
what it
feel
could have
like
been.
there was so much more to the story, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
Like, classic Tales came out of nowhere for one. They had that scene where they're in chemical plant. They should have had a scene like that in every stage, either making fun of something. I was expecting something in Crisis City, but
Yeah, it's like, where are we? Is this a drug trip?
uh,
Oh, I don't remember this.
I like the bosses, but they're easy.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I s- I hear like Egg Dragoon on the hard mode is just tedious.
it's overly long. I like the silver rival fight. That actually is really fun to play.
I
Um,
haven't really gotten that far through the game. I only got up to Seaside Hill.
okay, yeah. You're done the Dreamcast era then. So you didn't fight Perfect Chaos yet.
No. The reason, because I was trying to play Generations on a keyboard.
Blah.
Modern Sonic on a keyboard.
Blah. Um,
Imagine trying to do the side steps on a
yeah.
keyboard.
The music is amazing. I will admit that.
Yes.
A lot of all the remixes are awesome.
I love the Cityscape remix. Oh.
Yes. That's awesome.
I just remember when the soundtrack got leaked, I downloaded it so quickly. You couldn't even imagine how quick I downloaded it.
So, just to run through quick, you have Green Hill Zone, seen it. Chemical Plant, awesome. Sky Sanctuary, awesome. Then you went to Speed Highway. Uh,
I love Speed
I
Highway.
love Speed Highway, but I was hoping for a different adventure level.
You were
I mean,
hoping for Skydeck.
no, I was hoping for Emerald Coast, which we did get, but we'll talk about the 3DS version here in a second. City Escape, yes. Speed High, or not Speed High, Seaside Hill, I would have preferred, actually, I would have preferred Egg Fleet.
Oh, that would have been a fun level.
I know, and the remix would have been awesome. And then you went to Modern Era, which was Crisis City, which I think was a good pick for '06. You had Spagonia, I was a little more hoping for Cool Edge or something. And then you had Planet Wisp, which I think was a good pick for colors.
I think they ruined Colors, the Planet Wisp remix.
They did. I prefer the original Planet Wisp to the two remixes. The modern remix isn't that bad, but the classic is really?
I like when people. Was it the classic one that had the intentional mistake in the
Actually, that was the
piano?
original too.
Yeah, because it was a intentional. thing. I forget what the exact musical term for it is called.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's like, did they mess up in an
Yeah.
Avengers song? They
Yeah.
messed up in a song. Like, no, that was on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You guys don't understand music.
Yeah. But I think for the most part, the level choices for the HD version were pretty good. Now, the 3DS version. It's a good
Nah,
game.
never played it.
It's a good game. The levels they chose were Green Hill, Casino
Why?
Night. What?
Why have Green Hill Zone for
Be-
both?
because it's the only one that's the same in both. They had Green
Ugh.
Hill. They
I would
had
have preferred them having like I don't know, Marvel Zone.
well, I'll get to what I think they should have done here in a second, but let me just finish. They had Green Hill, Casino Night, Mushroom Hill, which I think is a good choice. Emerald Coast, which is again a good choice. Radical Highway for some reason. That's a shadow stage. They had then Water Palace, which is from
Which
Sonic Rush, and then they had Tropical Resort. Personally, for the 3DS version, what I think they should have done is at the start they should have had a Game Gear era from like Sonic 1 on the Game Gear, Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, and then like Triple Trouble or something. Moved on
Yep.
to the Advanced series, have a level from Advance 1, 2, and 3, and then moved on to the modern era, which would have been Rush, Rush Adventure, and Color. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that, but they
Yeah.
didn't.
And
Because
even,
nobody cares about the Game Gear games.
well, no, but it still would have been a nice throwback. Or even just kept the Genesis, but then still done the Advanced and like Rush era. Because I was really hoping to see like advanced game stages,
I would have liked to see like Ice Mountain.
like Ice Mountain. I would have loved to see Cyber Chase, Cyber Track. Sorry, Cyber Track.
Cyber Chase? I like Cyber Chase.
Not the show. Cyber
Aw.
Track from Sonic Advance 3, or even Chaos Angel. And then like the rivals, I was expecting Blaze to be a rival in the 3DS version because of Sonic Rush, but we still had Silver. I think it should have been Knuckles as a rival for the classic era, Emerald as a rival for the Advance era to represent Sonic Battle, and then Blaze as a rival for the modern era.
Hmm.
But that's just me. I think the Generations 3DS was very much a missed opportunity for stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Alright, we have two more games to go over, and I
Two more
highly doubt
games?
you've played either of them.
Probably not.
Recently new, the first one is Sonic Jump.
Meh.
It, it's addicting. I still have yet to unlock all the characters, but it's actually really addicting and fun. All I can really say about it, it's a jumping game. You're basically scrolling up to see how high you can get. Please don't take that wrong, you.
Oh, so it's your type of game to see how high you can get.
Yeah,
I know now why you like it, because you like to get high.
ew. Then the last game I want to talk about is Sonic Dash, which actually just came out today for the iPhone and stuff. It's coming out for Android, which is what I have, so I haven't yet to play it. But it actually seems really fun from what I've seen. It's like Temple Run, but Sonic. So
Meh.
hopefully it'll be good. As far as
If not,
future of Sonic goes, I
we
don't
have
know
no
what
idea.
we
See,
hear
the
rumors
problem
all
is,
the time. So
all we know is it's gonna be a completely different style of gameplay. There was a rumor of Sonic Dimensions for the Wii U.
yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a rumor circulating about the next Sonic game will be like Sonic
It will.
will be like Sonic Generation style, modern style, but instead of just Sonic, you're gonna have like 10 playable characters.
I can dig that, 'cause I mean, after Sonic Generations, I think we need to go back to having more than just one character.
Yes, I think so too.
Because I mean, playing as Sonic is fun, but what about Tails? What about Knuckles? What about um, I don't
So,
know.
Silver can't really play as Eggman because,
Yeah, you can.
well, you can, but as far as Sonic gameplay nowadays, you can't. Can't really boost with Eggman.
Well, I mean, look at how fast Eggman went in the classics.
True. All right. The only other thing I want to mention are the TV series, the
No.
TV series.
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention?
What?
The Game Loft version of Sonic Unleashed.
I've never played it.
I haven't either. All I've heard is just Spagonia, but very limited.
And it's 2D. It's like 2D Werehog. It's weird.
No, it's 2D, like Rush.
I know, but then there's 2D Werehog too, which is weird.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know
I
either.
don't want to know how that works.
But
See,
yeah, so this was our
no,
overly
wait.
long.
We forgot about one last game.
What?
Sonic Edusoft.
No, not Sonic Schoolhouse.
Oh yeah, Sonic Schoolhouse.
We don't need to learn things.
Yeah, video games are supposed to make our brains rot.
Yeah, just look at Paper Mario. They don't make your brains rot. They make you read.
I know.
Unless you're playing Sticker Star, in which case there's like no story at all.
Yeah.
But that's for another rant. Anyway, this is
Maybe
it.
we'll do a Mario retrospective one of these days. Doubt it.
Maybe. I've already done a Zelda retrospective.
Lame.
Lame.
Yes. You are lame. And a pothead.
Anyway. Well, that's it for the Sonic retrospective. It was like 3.5 hours. Good lord. If you
I have a
sat through
headache.
this whole thing, I applaud you.
If you sat through this, you're probably high the entire time. So I applaud you for that.
So, until next time with whatever, it'll probably be like an adventure part or so. We will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.